You're welcome.
Thank you.
What a hero.
All right, well then, everyone. So let's pull it on in, and we do have a small audience watching us at the moment. So hello, everyone that is currently tuning in. Welcome to Don't Trust the Dungeon Master.
Did you unmute yourself?
I am. What do you mean, mute myself? Yes, I have unmuted myself. They should be able to hear me perfectly
just making
fine.
sure.
Yeah. My name is Alex K. My internet alias is Laris. So when they say Laris, they're probably referring to me. I am the Dungeon Master for Don't Trust the Dungeon Master group. We are playing a homebrew campaign of Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and our focus here is on the narration and the progression of a compelling / immersive storyline. Our group has been playing together for about a couple of months now, and we decided to start streaming some of our content live because we were hoping maybe some of you would be interested in partaking in it, / that I know some people have been talking about me that they would like to watch it. So with that in mind and some kind of things pulling together, that is why I'm starting to stream it, and we'll see if it does anything. No technical major aspirations, but that's just when we're doing it at the time being. So we are going to be playing every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I would love for you to join us on our adventures to the world of Arkelya. With that in mind, every now and then we will have to kind of miss a week. Like next week, we're going to have, I guess, 2 of our members potentially not here, and our group is 5 players, 1 DM, so that's kind of a large amount of people. So we probably won't be playing next Friday, but we'll keep you in touch with kind of how we're going to be approaching it. So next Friday, don't say Friday, but the next one after that, make sure it's open for you coming on in. As a small public service announcement, I just want to take a moment to say that we're not perfect. We're going to do the best we can. Like every Dungeon Master or player, some rules are going to be misinterpreted. There will be some bad calls and flops, both from the DM and from the players' perspectives. There are a few house rules, but we'll try to keep things consistent. The goal here is to try to keep things moving smoothly and balanced, and hopefully none of these errors are too grievous that it causes frustration with any of you or our own players. So there might be some tweaks. We'll kind of indicate that. With that, we're going to try to just have a good time, and hopefully you do as well. At this point, we're going to go ahead and do some character introductions of our current party. And their backstories, of which what they're willing to share at this moment, as obviously there's mystery, which is always enjoyable for any good stories to have a little bit of, I don't know what this person's motives are, etc., etc., etc. So what you are willing to contribute, my dear players that are currently present, please feel free to share on that. And after we do their backstories, we're then going to go ahead and do an attempted quick recap of the major events of our 10 or so episodes that we've done. Try to talk about the main highlights, and then finally we're going to go ahead and get into today's game. So first up, Oric, which is played by Castle in the Sky, that's color blue, currently on Tabletop Simulator. Oric, what would you like to tell us about your brass dragonborn artificer?
Great, you get to give away everything. He's a brass dragonborn artificer. I don't even know what to say now.
Wow. Here is the art that he chose to use, what he found on Google / somewhere. This is the art that he felt was best representative of his character. It might not be exactly to the T, but this is what he's using currently.
It was the best one, I thought. It was most fitting. So Oric kind of has an interesting backstory. He spent his career as an engineer in the desalination plants of a country called Gaul. It's there he also became familiar through his profession with the chemical reactions, elements, how to harness them, but not without also grabbing the attention of his supervisor. Ducat was an opportunist and never failed to claim Oric's innovations as his own and capitalize on his genius. So in an effort to escape the shadow of Ducat, as well as the threat of his family's life that Ducat constantly reminded him of, and also in an effort to be able to kind of explore the world and receive honest recognition for his skills and eventually make a life for himself and his family elsewhere and away from the constant threat. He ended up to Arkelya, the continent where he was recruited into a fight against the orcs.
/ just not to interrupt you, just a / amendment there. You're not on the continent of Arkelya. Arkelya is the planet. Continent is Estrin. And you should be saying you're moving to the country of Windheim is what you should be saying. So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Anyways, yes. No, there's small corrections, a little bit of amendment. Continue, please.
Well, with that, he ended up kind of tinkering and using his artificer skills to aid the group up to this point. And he's focused primarily on alchemy and tinkering. Those are his real traits. Not much good in combat, but I'm sure you'll see that.
All right. Well, thank you, Castle, for sharing what you were willing to share us about Orc. Next up, Roderick, our half-elf warlock. What would you like to tell us about your character's backstory?
That's all she wrote.
That's it? Yeah, just the same exact joke every time I introduce one of you guys. That's all I can talk about my character.
Well, Roger grew up in a middle class household in Westwind, which is a part of Windheim. Basically, his family ended up passing away due to some various circumstances when he was younger, around like 9, 10 years old.
Blue's funny.
And through some nonsense, of his own making and such, he ended up joining a small gang and acted like a fool, doing what he can to survive. And after a little bit, he was actually apprehended and taken by a city guard that he was actually somewhat familiar with through his family. He would take him in to live and even actually train him, becoming his mentor, and training him to basically follow in his shadow to become a city guard, and which he actually does, and he enlists at the age of 18. And actually, about a year and a half later, I ended up leaving the city guard due to some circumstances, and he would take odd jobs to help provide for himself. And sorry for the amount of detail here.
Well, you don't have to do everything, but if you want to, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
This is an opportune moment.
I'm not gonna say everything, of course, but after taking those odd jobs for a few years, he would gain his powers due to some unforeseen actions, and which he awakened to them, and he once had a fairy with him, but yeah, all right. But now she's not here anymore, unfortunately. But after about several years, he would return to Westwind, and then after some more circumstances, he leaves Westwind to possibly never return and enlists.
And then he enlists in the Windheim
Windheim
war effort versus
yes.
a theoretical orc invasion that's happening, and that's kind of what brings him up to.
It was more than theoretical, though.
Well, I mean, it's happening. Yes. I'm just sorry. I'm saying, like, from your character's perspective, you didn't see it firsthand, so you it's more like advertisement. It's happening. You didn't know, but you partake in the recruitment effort. So that's kind of where your character gets moved in from there. Anything else of major note you want to talk about right now, Roderick?
What are you implying at? Are you?
Oh, no, nothing. I'm not trying. I'm just saying, like, in case there's something like I don't want to be like me saying the last thing about your character. In case that there was something you wanted to mention, you're allowed to, privy it if you want to. But your silence is more than assuring. All right, thank you, Roderick.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and focus on Doma. Doma, our tiefling paladin. This guy right here.
The interesting combo. I like it. I wrote mine as a shorter story, basically, so I hope you enjoy it. I'll be reading it out. I've never been too good at reading things out loud, so don't mind the hiccups. Okay, here we go. How Doma's Arte ended up in the world we know is somewhat of a mystery, even to himself. He was originally from what he would later find out is one of the layers of hell. Knowing only the life of his slave, in most of his younger years, he lost much to that hellish life. But it didn't last too long. One day, a large cracking sound shook the tunnels he was working in, and had him clambering out of them, along with others, fearing they would soon collapse. Only to stop just outside the tunnel's entrance to see a large tear in the sky. What happened next was a bit of a blur, as was the next while in his life. He ended up in a city by the name of Veneer, and was quickly taken to the Order of Paladins to be questioned, amongst other things. It was starting to look a little grim for poor Doma. Being a tiefling, not many people trusted what he said. But one man stood forward and took him under his wing to watch over him. And thus began Doma's life as a fledgling paladin. It was a lot of work, but he tried hard and did what he could, and after some time, Doma was given a quest, a chance to prove himself worthy. It was to set out and illuminate a darkness that had been growing in a neighboring state. He set out, but he had no idea what he was getting himself into, whether somehow ending up in prison or blonde, thanks to a gnome named Relina, fighting alongside an angel, or watching his friend die only to later be brought back. He's learning much and gathering allies, doing his best to beat back the darkness, but some questions eat at the back of his mind regarding his past. What could have brought him to this world? And what else could have escaped? Was he really alone, or were there others?
Thank you, Doma. That was
I
well
think I wanna
done.
read
I'm proud of you actually for that. Thank you.
I wrote it all in 10 minutes, thank you.
Yes, well done.
Nice,
So the one thing that I would like to mention here specifically was the comment he made about currently being blonde. His character, there's two things I should say. First of all, tieflings, or our world in general doesn't follow canon D&D. There's alterations like anyone's storyline. Tieflings are basically a non-existent race on our planet. So him existing, being this demonic humanoid type entity, is very scary for your standard civilian. They don't know how to incorporate it. And based on that, he got himself in some trouble, and based on that trouble, he's currently under the illusion spell of a gnome wizard named Relina, who they, through this and that, had managed to twist her arm into casting the spell on him, which he now has a guise for potentially another 6 weeks to look like a human, that just basically exactly like a tiefling, but blonde hair instead of his long red hair, and he doesn't have his horns or his incisors or any of his tiefling features. So that's just the one thing I wanted to comment on there. But thank you once again, Doma, for your excellent recap there of your story.
You're welcome, I hope you enjoyed it.
At this moment, we would want to talk to Haname, our blue dragonborn bard. Unfortunately, they cannot make it here on time today. They'll be about an hour to, well, I guess it's kind of 2 hours from now still, right? 2 hours or so before they could potentially join us. They'll join us when they can. I do know a basic plot line that I'll just go ahead and throw out there for them. Shoot, I seem to have misplaced my paper, so I'll just try to remember it off of hand. I know she comes from the same country that Auric comes from, which is the Fleet Deserts. I know that she comes from the Kingdom of Gaul, which is the same place that Auric comes from. However, her being a blue chromatic dragonborn has put her in a higher social level than that of the Metallics, which are considered the bottom of the bottom in that area. Her family taught her some very good levels of ethics, and she went to a bard school somewhere in the Windheim country to the north. She then came back, trying to spread good in the world. She will eventually find herself being requested by her superiors in the government of Falit, the Salakal, asking her to help their northern neighbors of the Windheim country to deal with the Orc menace. And so with that, she is sent to Windheim, to Fort Tall specifically, to help them with this incursion. And that's as much as that I can really kind of recall myself without giving anything else. So that's Haname, who will be joining us in 2 hours or so.
Eventually.
Yes. And finally, our last and our newest member to our group, Lady Evelyn Zestira, our high elf sorceress. Please give us your story, madame.
Well, hello. As he said, I play Lady Evelyn Zestira. I am the daughter of the High Observer of the High Seated Council of Windheim, and I spent most of my childhood, like any noble lady would, studying books and taking time to read and learn languages and learn a little bit of enchanting along the way. I I'm relatively new to the political realm and the political side of my family. There was something that happened that basically caused me to need to take up a stronger role in that of in my family for that. So because of that, I was on a political mission to a Fort Tall to inspect the fort and see how things were going, and that's how I came across this band of adventurers that I'm with.
All right. Thank you very much.
Is unfortunate or fortunate is up to interpretation.
Of course, like everything with you guys, we're more in the line of unfortunates of running into your group.
Yeah, then, you know, we're cursed. Gosh.
Effectively, yes. Theoretically cursed by Vlad, one of the pantheon from our world. Okay. Beyond that, those are our current 5 party members. There's technically a 6th member that's an NPC that they're currently with. A quick synopsis of that character is right here. This is the art that I was selected for this NPC. This would be Aniel, our angelic compatriot that we effectively just saved from who knows what was happening to her. That's for our group to kind of find out in today's episode. Blonde woman, angelic wings. Angels don't exist on our planet, so this is unusual as well. But hey, there's a million things.
Did we actually save her, or is she bad?
Yes, you don't know. And that's stuff you guys can try to interrogate her today, if you can persuade her or intimidate her, whatever the fuck your rolls, whatever the dice determine for our story to continue forward, we'll find out. But yeah, so that would be that's our current party of 6. Alright, so now then, I will go ahead and try to, in an abridged, or attempted abridged format to try to save us the time, talk about our first 10 episodes of what had happened, so please bear with me. I'm trying to read this. Alright, so let's see. We are on the planet of Arkelya, specifically on the fractured continent of Estrin. Our story starts in the country of Windheim. Windheim is a prosperous and more progressive nation. It's run by a council, specifically the council that Evelyn's mother is part of. They have 3 neighboring countries, the Dwarven monarchy to the north, Medan. To the south is the Solakal that rule the Philippe Deserts, and to the east is the Lorne Mountain Range, which acts as a barrier between Windheim and the Orc tribes that live in the Duskmire Marshes. These 4 nations have been at tentative peace for the last century or so. However, within the last year, Orc aggression seems to have spiked for some reason. And before we knew it, the Orcs were trying to invade Windheim, the country to their west, or east of Windheim, effectively. Windheim does not have a large standing army, and was forced to institute a draft in the means to protect themselves. A lot of our characters happen to be unfortunate souls that have to be dragged into this fray. Windheim has managed to hold its borders, and decided that they needed to march into the marshes to disarm the Orcs, as they are too big of a threat to just ignore. This year-long conflict, to this point, seems to be drawing to a close as the Windheim forces are marching upon the Orc capital. However, our party forms as a brand new recruits, being drafted or conscripted based off of their previous history, to make sure that there are still men on the front lines in case the momentum stops. With that, our individual characters find their way to Fort Tall to undergo basic training. Alright, now, while at basic training, our party undergoes some shenanigans and quickly isolate themselves as that group, quote unquote, the kind of people you don't want to normally associate with. The misfits continue somehow scraping by the large array of varying circumstances and eventually partake in a survival exercise that will take them about a week to complete. So they're tasked to go up to a mountain and survive several days by producing their own food. Attempting to test each of these new recruits' abilities to survive on their own means, they do eventually scale to the top of the nearby mountain. Some incredibly weird circumstances occur while they're at the peak of this mountain, but with the help of a tandem team, which contained Haname's character, they manage to survive the ordeal, though some casualties do occur. Reconsolidating our group review some of the information about what they witnessed at the top of that mountain and decide that they want to investigate the matter further. They attempt to trick their superiors into letting them search for more information to the north, but based on a series of unfortunate events, they all end up being later labeled as deserters and are imprisoned. They are dragged back to Fort Tall, set to be for due processing, and where they eventually pass the bend and look towards Fort Tall, they witness it besieged by some Orc forces. Confused as Windheim is supposedly winning the war effort, and their armies are way to the north. Why would there be an orc army this far to the east? Our group is then tasked, based on the dire circumstances, to try to help retake the fort, as they just don't have the means or the men necessary to reclaim the fort without them basically parting our group to try to prove their allegiance. Our party manages to gain entry back into Fort Tall to find it basically nearly overrun. They connect with the internal leadership that still somehow was surviving and find that there is a VIP in the fort currently, and that the group is assigned to escort this VIP to safety. That VIP happens to be Lady Evelyn Zastira. And they all gather with her. With orcs nipping at their heels, they flee to the forest to the north, managing to escape the scrap. Let's see. Now, while retreating further and further northward, our party stumbles into a winged serpent who attacks the party. The party ultimately kills the creature and finds a necklace nearby. Upon... Well, I'm trying... It's abridged. Not every detail is exact. Keep calm. Let's see. Alright, so upon touching the necklace, there is a necrotic explosion that ultimately claims the lives of Roderick and his pet familiar, Krista. This was the sprite that he was mentioning earlier. Yes, both of them die. Krista's body is buried, but Roderick's corpse is held onto for some reason. Our party then begins moving northwest towards the Medan Mountains and this black tree that they keep getting visions about. Along the way, our party finds a dove trying to steal the very necklace that they found earlier. Through magical means, they communicate with the bird and end up giving it the golden chain. The dove transforms into a blonde angelic woman who strikes a bargain with the group. For their aid to kill a powerful creature named Ru'kon, she will attempt to revive Roderick. The party agrees, the ritual succeeds, and Roderick is returned to the realm of the living. Unfortunately, his familiar is not. So Krista is, technically, I guess, one of our first casualties of war, I suppose. If we're going to ignore Galadin, of course. All right, so the group. It was suicide though. So
yeah, that was suicide.
So the group ventures onward, seeing signs of corruption in the land and ecosystem, a blight afflicting the environment. Believing that the blight is related to Ru'kon, the very creature our angel Aniel wants to kill. They suspect that this is associated to the black tree they keep getting visions about. So they're looking for this black tree. Let's see. However, the resurrection of Roderick seemed to have placed a very big strain on our angelic companion, and one morning Aniel disappears. So now the group finding themselves just with 5 people. They group moving more and more northwest towards Medan, trying to find this black tree. They witness more and more horrors brought on by the increasingly present blight and push forward into the wilderness, still searching. And with that, we are now finally to our recap of more or less the last episode. And then we'll begin today's shenanigans. So, in our last episode, our party finds themselves breaking camp on a mountain edge, staring down into a blight-infested valley, hoping it contains the source of the corruption ailing the land. Each party member begins suffering adverse effects due to their continued exposure of higher and higher amounts of this contamination. Despite these complications, our group manages to find the black tree they suspect is the origin of the blight. While strategizing with ways to destroy this malignant plant, the group is surrounded by a platoon of orcs. A female orc warlock named Babarusa steps forward and speaks of prophecies and visions. She pronounces a duel against our party to prove her right to stand next to her chieftain. The warlock ends up severely injured before reaching out to the other orcs present, who then turn on her and attempt to kill her. We only caught part of their conversation. Babarusa summons a wave of foul necrotic energy that essentially liquefies organic matter, killing nearly the entire orc warband and hurting our group to a moderate degree. Babarusa, thinking she's won, then witnesses that our group is still alive, and she pushes herself beyond her normal limits. She rises spectral skeletons to help her deal with our party, but somehow our party perseveres. In her dying breaths, Babarusa attempts to cast one final spell, saying, "It cannot let you win." And ultimately she perishes. The necrotic energies unleashed by her magic wreck and melt the twisted black tree, exposing a purple gem in its center. Our group grabs the gem, a few magical items from the fray, and their injured comrades before retreating to a safer distance. Realizing that they themselves are still being corrupted, the party migrates several more miles away before they attempt to unify the gem and necklace. Upon doing so, a voice speaks out to whoever holds the piece of jewelry, asking for it to be released from its prison. Recognizing the voice as that of our old angel compatriot Aniel, our party agrees to help and is instructed on a magical ritual that may help them free her. The party contributes several spell slots, and the ritual opens a portal which they go through. They are unaware of what horrors they're fleeing into. They find themselves in the center of an ever-shifting maelstrom of purple and black energy. In the center lies the angelic compatriot chained to some stone surface. A voice calls out from above, stating that this group, you are all meant to take its place to ensure that the bound angel could never leave. After a brief interrogation, the group ultimately does not agree, and Ru'kon emerges from the vortex, proclaiming he will force them to if needed. The party begins a lengthy combat against the huge winged serpent before managing to deliver a critical blow. Ru'kon retreats while twisting the realm into what appears to be a magical bomb. Let's see, the maelstrom collapses inward and the temperature rises rapidly. But the party manages to break the angel free and they escape back to their previous dimension. The massive energies amassed, the massive energies amassed from the dark realm rocket outward, causing an explosion on the mountain face back in our planet. Our party forces their fatigued bodies beyond their normal limits, managing to avoid being buried alive as a landslide chases after them. Here they are now, resting, collapsed from fatigue and exhaustion, their energy spent. They see a clear dark sky above, arranged with a complex of shifting stars. A cool breeze rushes by you, chilling your sweat-adorned bodies. A welcoming commodity from the heat you just experienced moments ago. You feel and hear occasional tremors coming from the mountain face, but no new avalanches form, no new rock slides. No immediate threats present themselves to you. You feel the tight swelling of the corruption that was once in your veins fades, and the doubts and fears that plagued your minds dissipate. You haven't felt this well in days, and yet you can barely stand. What would you all like to do?
Woo-wee, lads! I'm just gonna sit here and take a breath for a minute.
Yeah.
I think I'll take 6.
So then you guys just plop on the ground.
So what's going around? Where's the angel?
Okay, so you look around the environment and you see 5 other individuals besides yourself. All 6 of you are currently there. Tired, fatigued, and just like... Some of you are collapsed on the ground on nearby rocks, or some of you are just flat out laying on your back, staring up at the sky above. You're in a relative clearing. You cleared right past... You ran past the waterbed, right? The creek. And to your side, you see this giant mound of like rock that just kind of has collapsed in. You still see the dust lingering as it kind of coalesces off into the evening sky. There's not a lot of light, because don't forget, we are at night right now. But you can kind of, with your dark vision helping, see the wisps of debris kind of slowly dying off. But it's probably going to take several hours before it actually settles.
Bloody hell. We're alive. Kind of.
Nearly.
Holy, holy, holy. I can't believe we made that.
Annie, you owe us a keg of ale, I swear to God.
Just one.
Sure, whatever you...
When he said that this was your fault.
I'm sorry, what was... What?
Ru'kon said, you're the reason
Our world is messed up is because of you.
I don't know what he meant by that.
That's why he said
something to do with healing.
I mean, can you trust the beast in the first place?
Trust you?
Well, was I trying to kill you? He seemed to be.
Well, you're a little tied up, so... Not sure you could have, even if you tried.
She just stares. She stares at the ground with no reply.
Daniel, how were you with us earlier? Was that you?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
We were traveling with you before. When we first got the necklace, Dove, Angel. How did that not appear?
Her eyes like bounce to each one of you, and she shakes her head. I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever met you before.
Insight.
Yeah, I was
Go
gonna say,
ahead and roll insight. Feel free to insight.
Hey, someone remembered what it was.
Hey-o.
Natural 20, hey?
Hey.
Shit, crushed.
No need to do that. Throw that dice over there.
First roll of the night, ladies. It's a 20. We're off to a
I
good
love
start.
it.
Great start.
I have only 14.
Okay.
Count that as 19 there.
So I'll just go ahead and I'm not going to drag you to the side and have a private conversation. This information is not necessarily... I mean, you can do with what you want. You do not detect any lying in her tone, her body language, even if you're not really familiar with this entity specifically. There doesn't seem to be any of the hallmarks of someone that is lying to you.
Does this entity, like, am I certain that this is the one that spoke to me in my dream?
You would not be able to ascertain or draw a conclusion from that. You can do whatever your character wants to think on it.
I'll use Divine Sense to see if it's the same energy as the other angel.
Alright, you can divine sense, and you hear faint notes of a beautiful melody that you would imply that there are good-natured beings nearby you. You have no foul sense or anything that seems to be that of corruption, besides the slight odor that you've kind of more or less prevailed from the forest so far anyway, so...
Wait, the land we were on was desecrated, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And you've actually kind of run back over the water edge, and you're now kind of resting in that partially desecrated land as we speak.
I really don't think...
Well, do you think we can walk far?
I mean,
So basically, I couldn't tell.
Walk anywhere.
realistically, with all this noise, I mean, do we think that anything is going to be coming to attack us here?
Well, so it's been about...
Someone said so.
For about
Guys.
time-wise, it's been about 10 minutes since the avalanche chased you, and you guys have been just kind of catching your breath, and every now and then, like we'll say, every minute to 2 minutes, potentially, it's getting less and less frequent, really. There's a small tremor in the ground, and there's a little bit of, like, rubble, like, scattering, and more dust is kind of plumed out in the air, but no new huge, like, wave of dirt flies towards you. You feel like it's more like aftershocks, so the major event is probably subsided. But you don't see anything that's coming at you. It's your call how you want to interpret that information.
Guys, I think we hiked 5 minutes out, and we're like, anything in the area is going to be scared off. I think this is definitely a good place for us to be right now.
Yes.
Someone sits up. Guys, I think we forgot something. He looks over to the giant pile of rubble on the other side of the river.
What
Did
do you
anyone
mean?
pick up that necklace?
Wait. I did not.
I guess no one picked it up. That's lovely.
What necklace?
The
You
necklace
were
that
apparently
you-
stuck in. Yeah.
It was essentially like a jail.
Confining thing.
Okay, I see. Thank you for freeing me. I don't think I've said that yet.
Someone smiles over at
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You're the real hero here.
You did
Oh my God.
call us to help, though. I mean, that was you, wasn't it?
I'm sorry. I wasn't. No.
Maybe it was someone else. God.
I'm afraid you must be confused with something else.
Well,
God, this month is just so ridiculously confusing. He scratches his head and lays back down.
And so I'm going to explain to Neil, no, I'm not sure I am confused. I think there's something going on here. Like, so I had a near-death experience and was spoken to in a vision. Someone laid a trail of breadcrumbs that led us to you, and a voice clearly said to me in my head, "Save me, help me." And that's why I was asking for the insight check. Like, is that voice familiar? Is Nell's voice the same?
Yeah. So your nat 20, I'll just give it to you again. It sure sounds awfully the same.
Okay. And with that, I'm going to say, I'm certain the voice was yours, and I'm certain it was you speaking to me. I had,
We also
help
met
me
flying
understand what's going on here. Yeah.
Was it your snake?
I don't.
Less big.
How can I help you understand? I'm sorry, you'll have to be more. What are your questions?
Well, my question is, who are you? What is your goal, and why were you in the prison?
That's 3.
I don't. I can't answer all those questions with you. I'm sorry.
Why?
What can you answer?
Well, let's see. Well, my name is Aniel. And she like unfurls her wings just a little bit. I'm not from your plane of existence. I think that should be evident.
Pretty evident, yeah.
Can I do an insight roll on that one too?
Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna be doing every sentence she says. Insight roll. Every sentence. Insight roll. Insight roll. Insight roll.
She damn well lied.
You could be lying.
Yep. I mean, of course. I know it's part of the game. I'll allow it.
I'm kidding.
Okay. So, I am.
I have had a really bad night, so I'm just gonna be honest. Some of us almost died trying to save you, and you seem to not have any answers for us. So it's just a little frustrating.
Well, I'm kind of confused as to why you ended up there. I don't know how you found me.
Well, who
Where
else
were
knew
you
were in
before
prison?
you
Which question first?
Go
had
ahead.
our
Yeah,
guy?
God, we suddenly got Canadian in here. No, you first. No, I insist, it's you.
Who imprisoned you? Who knew you were there?
The thing you killed. Well, I guess you didn't fully kill it, but Ru'kon?
It blew up.
So we didn't actually kill Ru'kon. That's awesome.
Well, he might. He very well should be dead now.
Do you know why he was spreading blight across the land?
She doesn't. She just kind of trails off. She doesn't give you an answer.
With this, I'd like to, just with Ru'kon being, like, his death not being certain, I'd like to see if we can, like, detect anything through the rubble on that necklace. Like, is it still emanating magic? We should see.
Sure.
I might be able to find
All right.
it.
So, do you want to venture off into that landslide and look for it?
Well, yeah. I mean, how far off from it are we?
You have run quite a bit.
We escaped a landslide.
Yeah, you skipped a landslide. You're probably about 300 feet away from theoretically where the rituals took place. It could be even more. We're in the ballpark of 1,000. It's under 1,000 feet. It's under 1,000 feet, but
Well, we don't even know if the necklace is still there. I mean, literally, it blew up. It seems like so.
No, it didn't blow up. The portal blew up.
we can check that in the morning.
Yeah, it had magical properties, though, right? Like, if I cast Detect Magic right now...
yeah, but detect magic is only a 30-foot thing. You're basically doing, what's it called, a metal detector. You'd have to go out in the area and just kind of like roam around. And that you only
I
get,
understand.
yeah. So you would
I might
your
be able
current
to find
awareness
it.
would be that it's possible. By all means, but it requires time investment. It's not going to be just a simple, oh, there it is, right? So
No, I get it. I know I'd have to go tracking for it. Well,
I can probably find it. I just need the rest first.
Yeah, agreed. I'm pretty
That's
beat right
right.
now. I think we should look for it in the morning.
Because I have the spell to find it. If it's not buried too deep.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Aniel, my simple question is, what do you remember prior to ending up where you were?
her back stiffens. It's been a very long time. It's kind of hard to remember.
Well, you
Can
remembered
you
something.
give us anything? Even the slightest bit.
Look, we just want to help you after helping you this much. We might as well keep doing it.
I remember it was cold. Very cold. And my kind isn't normally afflicted by that. But and she just shakes her head. Back and forth.
Okay, thank you.
So, Aniel, now that you're out, what do you want to do?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Do you need a reason to do something?
Yes, I suppose.
Assuming they have missives like me either.
My kind's not supposed to talk with your kind.
Different planes of existence, yes.
Well, kind of late now.
Could you be in
Yeah, it's a little late.
Sure,
Pretty sure she already was in trouble.
Yeah, but that's
we
kind
could
of, and she's.
tie you across.
I don't know what I can and can't say.
Well,
Kind of barred.
last time we talked to,
Feel free to
you
give us-
mentioned a name. Who knew that name? I don't remember if you told us.
You
I just
mentioned
remember you.
the great matron.
Her eyes. One of her eyes go wide for a little bit. You kind of notice that, as I'm sure you're probably all studying her like religiously right now.
Yes.
So
We're
I'll
just
give
staring
that
at that
to
angel.
you. Again, I haven't met you before. I don't know who you ran into previously, but that was not me.
So that's
So
what
you
I'm
don't know
trying
who
to
the
ask
great
here.
matron
Who else wants you out of this prison? Right? Like, because somebody set us on a path here to release you. They laid the trail. They set up the clues. They showed me the vision, everything we needed to know to find you, to get you out.
I don't
I'm
know.
wondering if it wasn't.
The gay matron.
No, I'm wondering if it wasn't the other guy, her prisoner, or the guard basically that was
Ru'kon.
over her, whatever. I'm wondering if he just didn't want someone to open the necklace so that he could get free. I'm wondering if it's that simple.
Oh no! I mean, obviously.
Was he really there guarding you? Or was he trapped with you?
That's what
I
mean.
know
don't
that
know
he
if
lorded
was
over
the
me.
one behind it.
I know that. I don't know what his reasoning was for.
If he really wanted us to arrive and be able to release her, why would he like booby
No,
trap?
I think he wanted to get free. I think he was hoping to kill
Because
us.
there was a chance that he could get free anyway. Remember, he wanted us to
Nothing
take his
do with
place.
her. Right.
No. What I'm saying is, so when we came across the dove and we saw the Anil personator, whoever that was,
If they were.
or sorry, prior to that, when we arrived at this flying snake, who was the guardian of the locket.
Did he have a name?
He was just a codal. That's all
I
he
think it
was.
was
Yeah,
just
just
the
Cole.
guardian.
Wow, I can't
Yeah.
believe we didn't ask his name.
Well,
That's
it's
alright,
kind of hard
he's
when
dead.
someone challenges him to a duel.
Yeah, and we all look over to one person.
I'm sorry someone wanted to go north. But no, my question is, I guess, right, if Ru'kon wants us to arrive, or wants a group to arrive and release him, why would he give me a vision that led us to a booby-trapped necklace that would kill us? Like,
Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe it wasn't
Right.
him. So
It
maybe
was
there's
all
another
necrotic
out
doesn't
there.
mean it's the same guy.
Well-
Just means some other asshole could do it.
You said
Well,
you saw.
Neil, what is Ru'kon? Is he a god? Is he an angel like you? Like, what was he?
She. Jesus Christ. She just stares at the ground.
No.
She doesn't respond. Not initially.
Alright. Awesome.
I approach and I
Thank you
say,
so much.
look, we're all on the verge of death, and we traveled a long way, and a lot of people have died, and we ignored that to come here and help you. The least you can do is help us understand why.
Why?
Okay, you can make a persuasion check against her.
I'd like to lend him a lucky dice. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, shit!
Ooh.
Yeah. Super.
Of course. Can he use that lucky dice? No, I'm just kidding.
What did you roll?
I was trying to persuade her earlier, but
No,
I didn't.
it doesn't matter. She rolled a nat 1, so you beat her.
Oh my god.
Wow.
My first roll of the night's a nat 1. Your first roll of the night's a nat 20. What the fuck?
He rolled a 3, by the way.
Doesn't matter. It beats her dice challenge is a critical failure. As long as he didn't roll nat 1, he wins. So,
I know.
all right.
You know.
So your statement was, Oric, that you've had a large amount of sacrifice to get to where you are now, and you want answers, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, we put a lot on the line, and the least she could do is help us understand why
it
all
was
the
worth
things
it.
that we went through, and all the people that died at Fort Hall, and all the people that we ignored, and all the help that we didn't give to people that really needed it, was superseded by the necessity of helping her. Like, why?
Right. So as you say these things, everyone has visions of all the sacrifices that you guys have made thus far, and the pain that's been happening to you, and this kind of weird orchestration of almost as if it's twisted by fate.
Evelyn kind of turns away from the group a little bit at this point.
Aniel, she locks eye contact with you, Oric, and then she kind of stares at each one of you, and you're standing forward with utmost perfect posture. You have this confidence exuding out of you, and she swallows, takes a deep breath. I don't want to say more than I should, as I'm sure.
I don't care.
But you could be harmed if you know things you're not supposed to know. Then she could harm you.
We're willing to take that risk.
Who's she?
Or I am, at least.
I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. I'm sorry.
No, it's too late.
Great matron, right?
Well, I know a little bit about Ru'kon. He's an aberration of sorts. He doesn't come from your plane of existence either. And he's a twisted creature that his mere existence pollutes other landscapes. And so, potentially, and she gestures down to soil nearby that has the blight growing on it. Potentially, this is his doing. Just existing, he can do this. I don't know what else he's wrought to your land, but it's potentially all stemming from him.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Right.
If this is all from him, then what did he mean when he said that the lack of healing in our world was your doing?
I don't know anything about that. I've never heard this before either.
16.
Not even worth mentioning.
Alright, well, so only one of you actually has a relatively respectable number. I guess no one else got something good, so the 16. Evelyn,
I got above 10, I just can't find the fucking insight. Oh, there it is, +2, 12.
Alright, so with that, your general consensus is that she's not lying. When she immediately challenged that reply a moment ago, there seems to be that she's fully convinced that what she knows is truth, and what she's uttering to you is what she knows. So you feel like she's not lying to you in the slightest right now. It's just kind of the notion you've been getting in the general case. So you can tell that she's withholding information at certain points, but whenever she does mention something, it's effectively to the best that she can give you, I suppose. And the last statement was for sure not a fib.
Not a fib.
Not a fib, yes.
I love your word voice layers.
Anybody else got anything else? Because I'm kind of tapped out for the night. Kind of.
For the entire night, he will not get another question in.
I guess the one big question I have that's outstanding is, who is she?
I cannot I'm sorry, I
Then
cannot.
tell me how she's a threat to us.
Can you tell me if my guess is right?
She's beyond my comprehension. I don't know what she can and can't do, and I know what I have to follow as the rules that I'm required, and I fear that if I break them, that you will all suffer, as will I.
Ennio, can you at least tell me if my guess is right? You're talking about the Great Matron, right? You don't have to tell us. We can do a little digging in this world. Maybe someone else knows.
Is this some contract you have with the matron?
That's what I asked.
I mean, yes, it is. As you all are most likely intertwined with her in some form or way.
Apparently, someone else too. Or so
So
everyone
then,
says.
who could know?
Who can know what?
Well, if you weren't the one that resurrected Roderick, the person that we saw do that was the one that mentioned the Great Matron. So who could know that and you, and where you were?
Did you have any friends before all this happened that might want to help you?
There is an awkward pause, and then she shakes her head. No.
Or Ennio? It's okay, we're all friends now. We saved your life. You got us out of the hell prison. It's all good.
Thank you.
Now you can count us as friends.
Well, And then she just kind of mutters off.
Guys, I'm gonna go rest up and
That's a
try
forced friendship, by the way.
to contact you and see where she's at.
That would be nice. Jesus Christ. A lot's gone down. Probably have to tell her a bit about that. Or more likely, where to fucking meet up with her.
Yes. There you go. Don't.
Because Medan isn't the happiest meeting place, and now we don't have the reason to go north. So let's go somewhere else, shall we?
I think Medan's away from the orcs. I vote Medan. I vote Medan. I vote.
But why are we ignoring the orc problem?
Well, the further away from we get from it, the less we have to worry about it, right?
We still don't know
You
why.
realize they killed our friends, right?
Well, what are we gonna do against an orc horde?
They killed Orca.
What?
Damn right they did.
They killed Orca. They killed our friends, the people we met.
Sure, but what are we
Who's
gonna
to
do?
say they're not going to go after the rest of the people we know? We should at least do
I don't know.
something.
They were.
I
She
need to
was
get back to
chasing
Manhattan,
us.
what I need to do.
I don't
Yes.
think
Windheim sounds like a nice place to go. Maybe we should let Arkelya know we're going there.
We can. She said she was. I think she was seeing relatively close.
She was on the other side of the mountains or something.
That's relatively close compared to just going to.
Yeah, but between her and Windheim is fucking orcs, isn't it?
Well,
No, they shouldn't.
no, because
They don't go to that.
if they took out Fort Tall, they could be as far as Windheim by now. I guess I don't know. Depends on how fast they can.
You're aware that the amount of time it would take for a person at a comfortable pace would be about a week travel between you and Windheim and
it's
Fort
been how
Tall.
many days?
We're like on day 3 or 4 now after Fort Tall's fall, so they could be close if they knew exactly if they were familiar with it and just marched their way down there. It's possible.
It's about a week's travel between Fort Tall and Windheim. So they could be closing in if they were making a direct beeline.
Well, before we do anything, I say, let's fucking rest. I'm tired. My feet hurt. Scratch that. My everything hurts. Can we do a nap, maybe? Let's see a show of hands for nap. Or maybe move and then nap.
I think we should move out of this blight a little bit if we can.
Well, if we we move, we're not gonna be able to find the necklace, probably.
Um,
There's a lot of clues in that thing,
maybe we
probably.
move towards the necklace.
If it's there.
If it's even there.
I can find it with a rest.
Who the fuck knows?
I can locate it with a rest if it's not buried too deep.
Alright, I just pull out my bedroll and literally, like, just...
It's time to hunker down and go to sleep. I can agree to that. Bedroll.
I think that's reasonable.
Haname joins you. She rolls her bedroll out. And she goes to sleep as well.
Poor Angel. You're, does anyone have an extra bedroll? We have blankets, don't we?
Lots of blankets.
I'm gonna bring out my blanket that I have an extra one of.
I won't. Thank you, but I won't need those things. I don't. My kind doesn't.
Stay warm.
But well, it's not
She doesn't get cold.
that
She
cold.
doesn't sleep. And she already said she doesn't normally get cold, so...
Yes.
Well, it's
So
at
we
least
have to get out blanket here.
comfortable. So I lay down on a pad. I lay down on a pad of like 10 sets of clothing and cover her with a
For
blanket.
fuck's sake.
She's got like a little, so she's got like a little dog bed to sleep in.
It all works. Why
I
not?
I can watch, I suppose, if you would like to all rest. You seem to be in worse states than I am.
You don't even know.
Oh man. I feel like the life is just even draining out of me right now. I'm so fucking dead.
I just roll over
4
and
hit
say,
points, I'm not gonna disagree.
I roll over and say,
6 hit points.
I just say, wake me in 4 hours. I do my turn.
Sure. So do you all go to bed?
Don't you ditch us, Daniel. Friends now.
Okay, can I do this?
Can you do
Alright. So in this case, it'll basically spend like 30 minutes of, just like, then relaxing for a little bit. And then, which I will get my spell slots back, and which I'll cast Sending twice to Relina.
You're trying to do... No, this would interrupt your long rest to do the magic, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
You would do a short rest, and then you would have to then do a long rest right after the short rest, which then, you could do it. Your group would just have to be delayed another hour.
We can just do it when we're out.
Doesn't matter.
Then I'll lose more spells. But okay, alright.
Well, just...
You picked a warlock.
Honestly, it wouldn't probably be the end of the road if we take a few extra hours to rest in the morning and do some other stuff. So just do it.
Alright, that's being done, but...
So then you guys would start with a short rest, and then you'll turn it into a long rest.
Sure.
Isn't that what we've already done, I guess? I mean, really.
Your conversation went about 30 minutes, but
But we can turn that easily into a...
that's what you guys asked. You're allowed to do it. If you'd like to do it, you can push the short rest. I don't think they'd be doing much more anyways. It wouldn't really cost us humans a large amount of time. It's just our characters would lose a little bit of time. That's all.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright, so...
We need an extra long rest anyway.
So you have a short rest. You finish it off. Not much more conversations done. Haname strokes her harp to try to provide Son of Rest. Anyone wants to use a hit dice, and Roderick, you feel invigorated at the end of it. Your spell slots are restored. You may do what you wish with them.
Alright, well, everybody still awake at this point, right?
Technically, yes. We'll just make it convenient-wise. Yes, they are all awake. So that way you guys can organize your 25-word essay that you'll probably put to the letter. And then, like 40 minutes from now, I can get you a reply.
Alright, alright. One last time, I'm just trying to get in contact with Relina.
So, tell her...
We can tell them more important shit in real life.
Ru'kon is dead.
We can tell her that main stuff and stuff. I think we need to get like location meeting up with
Where
her.
are you?
Do you want to meet with her?
Do you want to meet?
It's like the most awkward Tinder conversation of all.
Right? Girl,
I think we should meet in real life now. I don't know.
IRL. Let's do it. Okay, well,
Think it's
we
time
can
for
find
our
out
own meeting.
where she is, but I feel like just asking where she is a waste of a message if we can tell her any other information. At least tell her that Ru'kon is dead, since that's what she
He has a bunch of spell slots he can use, and then we're going to bed again anyway.
Actually, maybe ask her. I want to ask her if she knows anything about the chief of the orcs and why he might want me.
That may take a lot.
I know.
Look, it's fun.
What do you want to say, Roderick?
I mean, I was saying, guys, because I think we should try and meet up with them as soon as possible.
Yeah, we could meet up with them as soon as possible and talk when we finally meet. That would be the simplest course of action.
I mean, yeah, last we said we were gonna meet her at Medina.
Yeah, but she said she couldn't come. She's on the wrong side of the mountains.
Southern side of the mountain.
That she wasn't coming.
Well, either way, we should find a new location that's a little less cursed.
Yeah, I like cursed places.
A little less.
What I guess I wouldn't know. So let me just get this right in my head. So if I'm looking at a map, Medan is north, Windtime is west, the Fleet Deserts are south, and the swamp the orcs are is east, correct?
Yes, 1 second. So realistically, Medan, at the point where your guys' current
We can't even get in.
your current latitude is actually puts you more in the lines that west is Medan at this point,
Okay.
but southwest
Windtime.
is Windheim, and then southwest would be Fleet Deserts.
Do I
Which
still
will
want
be
to go
after
north, or am I gonna want to go north until I hit?
And now, technically, east of you is the continuation of the Aloran mountain range, and then past that is a forest, a very large forest. Southeast of you would be the Duskwire Marsh, which is where the orcs are from.
Right. Okay.
While we're resting, can I attune to my bracelet?
I thought you were already attuned to it. You took a long break earlier.
You did.
Oh.
You guys attuned all the items you received from the Babarusa scan.
Alright. I thought I did, but okay.
So if Melina is in the southern mountain range, she is technically west of us then? Or is she still
West is Medan.
southwest?
So right here, this would be like Fort Tall. Fort Tall is southeast, and then like directly east of Fort Tall is the valley that goes right into the Dustmire Marsh. I can't play the game for you, but like that's roughly where these current icons land.
Roughly where would Melina have been when we last spoke with her?
That would be from you guys remembering what she told you. She did give you an indication of where she was, and I can't.
She just said southern.
The mountains. The mountain range is
On the other side of the Southern Mountains or something like that.
So you can strategize where that is, but I can't help you, unfortunately.
Well, we should ask her again. Or ask her where she wants to meet. IRL.
I say.
And I guess just ask her where she is and where they're headed.
Yeah, we'll ask her where she's headed, what her problems are, how can we
Because
help.
last I spoke to her,
I don't think what's done.
I told her to go back to Windheim to my mother.
That's true, you did. Well, let's find out. Send a message. Let's write it up.
Alright,
We
so
can always send more.
It's okay, it's only been 15 minutes since you wanted to start it. We know you have another 15 minutes before you're done, so let me know.
Alright, so start of it, the start of the message would be, I'm reading it, I'm saying it to everyone.
Knowing what's done.
Beware of light. Are you okay? Where are you headed?
Hold on, let's start from scratch. What was the first words?
Are you just want me to write down the
If you want to write down that card, yeah. I was going to do it for you. I was going to try to transcribe it. Sending, everyone. Okay, so those of the audience, what they're using is they're using a magical spell called Sending that allows them to communicate with someone else on the same plane of existence, or more or less anywhere else on the planet, provided they know the person. If you don't know the person, you can't speak to them. They're trying to talk to their faithful compatriot, Melina Lemire, the gnome wizard that is currently cast illusion magic on Doma.
That's why I'm blonde. Hi, guys.
And not so demonic looking, effectively.
Yeah, I'm pink and squishy now.
Well, you the same durability regardless, but you might look, I guess, squishy, sure. Alright, Ru'kon is dead. Beware Blight. Are you okay? Where are you? Where are you headed? Meet Winheim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Question
11,
mark.
12,
Don't
13,
forget that
14,
question
15,
mark.
16, 17. Alright, is this it?
Is that it, everyone?
Looks good to me.
Alright, well, they can't really look at it, but sure. Alright, you send it.
You
So,
know, relay it, of course.
yeah, so this information is what is presented, and then you will get a response in kind. Let us see.
Hilarious is gonna write a little message back.
Oh, it's like
God, it's
all
like
over again, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I know, right? We're just passing notes. Hey, friend, you wanna pass this note to the cute girl in front of us?
You guys are too young to remember that reference.
I didn't hear the
I
reference.
didn't hear you.
Pagers. You would
Oh god, pagers. I remember
Wow.
pagers. I never used one, but I remember them.
Oh, that was
My
like
parents wouldn't let me use it because I'd break it. Like it's either I'd break it apart, like to look at it, or I would just drop it and it bust.
Just die.
three.
Knowing me, I'd probably try and take it apart.
Afford it, so.
I got a cell phone, but it had 5 buttons on it.
Okay, so you get a response, and Melina Lemire's voice in your head.
What'd you say?
Yeah, what'd you say?
I'm glad you're okay. I'm doing fine. I'm in the Lorne Mountain Range. Not sure where we're headed. I can meet you there if you would like.
That's where we are. We're in the Lower Mountain Range.
Yes, but the Lorne Mountain Range is a very long mountain range. I
Just
quick,
take the
quick.
Rocky Mountains, guys. The Rocky Mountains.
Effectively
Don't
so.
remember.
It more or less the Lorne Mountain Range.
So now, but I know this area. I know my area. So
Why don't we just meet up in the
southern? No. If she was in the Southern Mountain Range and now she's in the Allura Mountain Range, would I know like the route that she could be taking?
So the green line is the approximation of the Lorne Mountain Range. It bleeds north into the Medan Mountain Range, and then it becomes Medan Mountains. And then Fort Tall is in a valley in it, so Fort Tall is part of the Lorne Mountain Range. And then it actually bleeds south and kind of acts as a somewhat barrier between Winheim and Philite, and then it actually descends a little bit further down through Philite. It's a very large mountain range. So
Should have asked her what side of Fort Tall she was on. Like, is she on the northern side or the southern side still?
Well, too late for that.
So that was the answers you got. I wanted to write it out, but then I realized I have a viewer and they could slip you information, so I had to refrain.
Damn it, viewer.
Okay, Relina says, well, she's glad we're okay. She's doing fine. She is in the Lower Mountain Range, and she can meet us if we like.
In time.
Heck yeah, we want
Yes.
to. But wait, was she? Did she say meet in Windheim, or did she say to meet in general?
You can meet. If
In
you
Winheim.
like. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed till Winheim.
Something around, you can meet in Winheim.
It may be kind of difficult to catch her in this.
Winheim seems like the best bet. Also, she kind of warned them about the orc invasion if they already don't know. And the fact that we beat a mini-god.
Well, I think
Well, they
that
don't really need to
okay
know
to. Yeah, that'd be.
We should warn them about the scraps of blight.
I already did. That was.
Not really, no.
Who then?
Windheim.
Winheim.
Oh. I don't think anybody really comes up here though.
Never mind.
Anyway, we should tell them about it eventually. Anyway, are we heading there? We in agreement one time?
Yeah. Let's send her one quick message.
Maybe
Like,
Oh
clarify one
god.
for me.
Another quick message, another 25 characters. Alright, another 30 minutes from now, guys. We can get back to our game.
Where do you want to meet in Windheim? Eh?
yeah, we can figure that out there, but at another point. I'll just tell her, yes, we will meet you in Winheim.
Okay. The message is sent. There's a response of okay. Back to you. See you there.
Just okay.
All right, we're good.
Alright, let's head to Windheim after we fucking sleep. And I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
And tell Roderick.
Alright, Roderick and Doma go to sleep. Orc, Haname, and Evelyn.
I'm gonna plop down on the ground close to Haname and kind of like hang up against her and say, "Oh man, that was crazy."
Yes, it was.
Hitting on her when she's vulnerable.
Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, I just want you to play me a nice song.
She gives you a cold eye. Sure. And she plays a couple notes on her harp, puts it away, and then throws herself on her bedroll and shuffles her back to you.
And I don't care, I fall asleep too.
Okay, so Auric and Haname are asleep. Evelyn, what about you?
I take out the stuffed owl from my bag and I just go to sleep.
Tis a cute
Alright.
owl.
So, can you all roll perception rolls with disadvantage, please?
I feel like the angel's gonna leave.
Obviously.
I'd like the lucky that first one, because that sucks.
You may do what you want. It's your lucky. Actually, you have no luck.
Nat 20!
You have no luck. You used it all in the fight.
What? I thought we redid this.
It's
Short
a-
rest. It's
Long rests restore lucky. Actually, it's the start of the day, so you do not have your luckies at all. They're gone. Poof, disappeared. You have no lucky. It's disadvantage.
Well, 3 and 13. I stuck with the 3s, but the other one was a nat 20, but it was not approved.
Okay, so results. I have a 5 on Castle. I have a 12. I have a 3, which is a 5 from Doma. And then,
20, Evelyn.
what
By the
was
way,
it?
I'm pretty sure my passive perception changed.
Evelyn, what's your total?
20.
20?
What?
God damn. Alright, Evelyn, so
rolled a 16
you-
and a 17.
about 3 hours in, you're kind of stirred awake, and you heard like a twig snap, and you're like kind of like rubbing the like your eyes as you got like the blurred vision going on. It's still dark out. As you like look around, the 5 of you are there, and you see a figure
Fucking
trying to move away from the group. Large wings on their back. Your dark vision clearly letting you see their features.
I'm gonna speak to her in Celestial.
Okay.
Does it wake me up?
No, you're all going to be asleep. Unless she wants to make it really loud, so.
No.
Anyway.
Anya, what are you doing?
I didn't know you were awake, huh?
That awkward laugh.
I'm a light sleeper.
Apparently so, and apparently rather noisy at the moment. And she's like currently looking at her foot that's currently crushing like a twig, and it kind of snaps a little bit louder. She slowly like kicks it to the side, trying to clear the path with it.
What are you doing?
I'm not supposed to be with your kind.
Well, I almost died saving you, so
I appreciate that. Truly I do. Please, earnestly, I thank you.
Here's what you can do. You can.
You're asleep.
From asleep.
And he's asleep. He's like talking to himself.
Just put some common clothes on and disguise her.
I know you don't think that you should be talking to us, but maybe we can help you. We did defeat Ru'kon, after all, to free you. Maybe we're worth the risk.
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh damn! Someone said something useful. I like it. Hey, Lash is back. You're late.
16.
Oh, piece of candy.
So your comment, specifically when you finish the word useful, there, you catch like a little shift in her body language, and then she turns towards you. Before like this kind of submissive-ish more posture, she makes her way back to the camp, and she sits down on debris, a log or a stone, something around waist height.
I thought we were talking about us being useful, not her.
Yes, you did. Well, you didn't say it, but Evelyn said it. So it seemed to have struck a chord based off of her coming back.
Why?
Why what?
Do you have a goal that you need to achieve here? Is there a reason that you're here? That you know of?
I don't...
I mean, if you're willing to leave us, you must be going somewhere.
It's not that, it's... I'm a danger to you.
How?
I'm not supposed to be talking to your kind. And you...
Yes, now.
Yes, that is the danger itself.
Danger from who, then?
From something very powerful. More powerful than Ru'kon.
Where is this thing that's so powerful?
That's a very good
In our
question,
world?
and I wish to find out.
Rolls over and says something about cookies.
Well, why don't you let us help you? Or is that not allowed either?
Even now, we're on the line. It's unavoidable. You clearly see me, and here I am. And she like waves to you briefly, and you know I can't avoid that, and I'm not going to. You know, and she gestures with her hand to the side. I just don't want you to be endangered.
Well, that's kind of what we do, I guess. We're kind of used to it. So,
I suppose so.
at least let us try to get you to win time. And if you want to part after that, then you can go your own way.
I don't know if I should be. And there's a nervousness to her as you mention one of your cities.
Nervousness how?
Mm,
Insight? Like,
She's afraid of crowds.
you can make your own conclusion, unfortunately.
She's afraid of clouds. Crowds.
Clowns? She's afraid of clowns? Oh, yes, everyone
Clowns.
hates clowns, man.
are terrifying.
Clouds aren't quite terrifying.
Wiki shoes. I agree.
You're asleep.
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Only Evelyn managed to perceive her trying to leave. Because she fucking sucks at rolling right now. And Evelyn rolled a fucking 16 somehow with disadvantage.
Which ended up being 20.
Look, I know you can't tell us much. And, I mean, something led us to you. Something wanted us to save you. So, I want to know what that is. I want to figure that out. I mean, maybe you don't care about that. Maybe you don't care about us, but maybe
No,
we
I
also
don't,
have a common goal.
I don't It's not that I don't care for my... I mean...
He's really trying to sort out his words.
She is, okay? She is. I'm trying to make sure she doesn't break something here.
Break something.
It's a very closed off individual. Hopefully you're getting that air.
We just broke another NPC, guys.
Yeah, you fucking guys always do.
Waiting for her to start crying.
The Matrix is glitching and she doesn't know what to say.
Do you know of a land to the south?
The Philippe Desert?
No.
More stuff?
I'm not familiar with the Philippe, but it's very cold. Packed with ice.
Unless you're awake.
Do I know what she's talking about? Would I have to roll something for that?
You may roll a history check to see if you know anything about this vague description.
Lots of ice down south. Doesn't know shit.
Well, let's see. With my history, that is a total of 9.
Plus 6 to your fucking...
Nothing that at least clicking. You can't seem to get an exact bead of what she's referring to here.
Not entirely familiar with it, no. Can't say that I am. Is that where you need to be?
I would like to visit it again someday.
Well, maybe we can help you get there safely.
Sure. Your kind believe in promises, yes?
Of course. At least I do.
I don't wish for you to be exhausted tomorrow. I will give you my word that I will not leave for the rest of the evening if you would like to go back to sleep. A promise, if you will.
Okay. And I promise that I will help you get to where you want to go someday.
Okay. She nods. How can I share my story? I really want to catch the dragon guy's attention because he seems funny.
God, I feel so sorry for her. We're gonna be her first friends.
Hey, Oric, apparently you already have a fan, man. That they're writing a fan fiction for you.
Oh no.
And they're trying to figure out a way to send it to you. So just letting you know.
How many
Ark and Haname.
No.
Fanfiction. Ark and Haname.
It could be
Oh my
completely a
gosh,
joke.
you're
They
so
could be
first.
trolling you, but they're asking me to ask you here, and just keep that in mind that maybe you should. Where am I streaming it?
Yeah.
Twitch, the premium number uno streaming service.
No, not that. Cool, sorry. Can they just put it on Twitch and you can read it during a break?
Yes, they could attempt to do that.
What's your Twitch?
That would be a good. You can go ahead and send it to me, Red, and
Oh, wait, no,
I'll
no,
pass
no,
it
no.
along to Oric, who I quote
Unless it's poor.
because he
Okay.
seems funny and cute and funny.
Aww.
Oh.
Aww.
Anyways, so
At least
back
someone
to
wants to
that
work for
point
once.
here, we are welcome Lashes Max for joining the group. We are currently sleeping. We've had a small little intrigue of compensation towards our angel compatriot. I can't tell you how much information they feel that they got was valuable, but that's their choice.
I hope we were taking a long rest, though.
At this moment, yes. So let me give you a quick the description of our last episode. I did give like a general back history of your character to the audience so they could kind of hear what your character's history, I think.
Oh, okay.
So and it was effectively what you told us last time. So with that, I'm just going to get into it. From your perspective, I kind of talked about us going to the Black Tree, trying to destroy the Black Tree, getting surrounded by orcs, killing the orc warlock, and then finding the necklace, putting the necklace together, fighting the getting ported into somewhere, fighting a giant Kotal-like creature, defeating it, and barely escaping with your lives. And then the episode started with basically, we're at night, you're exhausted and fatigued, your energy spent. It's a clear, dark sky with a range of complex of shifting stars. A cold breeze rushes by your body, chilling the sweat. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, you just pretty much have done nothing all night and you went to sleep. So it's way nice outside. However, the important thing to note is that every now and then there's a tremor or a slight earthquake of sorts, but it's way less in intensity from what you guys experienced previously with the explosion. So despite that, you guys have managed to go to sleep. We're about halfway through our long rest, and in the morning, you're all awakened by your angelic compatriot who seems to still be here, true to her word.
Everything's restored.
Alright, so now, with that, we're going to go take a quick pause here, because they just blasted in chat, so let's see what's going to happen. They say, it's a little spicy. Can I direct message it to you? Thank you so much. He's totally going to love it.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
we'll take the moment here, everyone, to just review this with me reading it and see how it goes out from there. I won't be too critical, hopefully, with anything I find that's weird in the phrasing, but
Just make sure you properly voice act or
I will try. We'll see what happens here. So, I was walking down the street, and I saw him. Rippling muscles, strong jaw, and a mouth full of wicked razor-sharp teeth, sparkling in the sun. I immediately began imagining what it would be like to put my tongue in his mouth and tickle the roof of it. Yum. Not wanting to be creepy, I began following him from a distance until I could find a way to introduce myself. I got nervous, and I couldn't think of anything to say, so I just followed him until he arrived home. Now I know where he lives. Cool. I snuck into his house, stole his shirt, and slipped back out. Fashion. On his way home, I bumped into him again. Oh, and she puts bumped in quotes. So I bumped into him again while wearing his shirt. He immediately grabbed me and pulled me close and hissed in my ear, "Nice shirt, you hottie." Winner. He pulls me to a dark and dirty alley covered with garbage. Cat carcasses, festering piles of food and waste, and the perfect place for a dragon Cietor sex. His scaly arms slide up my shirt. Wait, hold on. Are you sure? I mean, we can stop it here. Leave the audience wanting.
I want another rap. Come on, Brad, you're a good writer. Let us hear the rest.
Wait, what?
Half? How are you missing half the story?
I'm missing half the story. Well, you only posted these two statements, so maybe there's a spam filter because you're trying to spam so much. Alright, well, we'll work that technical kinks and maybe readdress it at the break, which is going to be in about, normally at 9 o'clock for us, so we got about 2 hours to theoretically kill.
So who is in the chat that's writing this? If they can hear me,
currently there's
can they hear me?
I mean, yes, they can. Everything that I hear. I mean, they would be a very boring game if they could not hear my players. Let me tell you.
I was just double checking to make sure because I've accidentally made it to where people couldn't hear Discord before. So yeah, just put it on a Google Docs and then share the link with them.
Yes, that would be a good way to do it too. Yes, and we can review that another time. I just wanted to give your attempted novelesque fan fiction here an opportunity to be heard on our ears immediately today.
So hot and steamy.
It won't be done every night, but
It will be done every night.
no, it will not be done every night. Sometimes there'll be more important things with our actual story that I can't
We
separate.
just need more viewers.
We're currently at a moment where it's relatively a lull, and I'm allowing some deviation. All right, so.
Oh, Google tracks too much, or you gotta read chat.
Well, they don't know what my Twitch account is. You do because your mom wants to watch, so it's a little bit different.
Might check more.
So.
Alright, we were ending a long rest. I don't even know how you're doing.
Yeah, so you basically have completed a long rest. Half your hit dice have been restored. Your spell slots are restored. All hit points are restored.
And we're level 6.
And you're level 6. Oh my goodness. So you can get you can get all your shit. Move yourselves up. And we'll
I got more help.
The first thing I do when I wake up
is kill the angel.
and then celestial
She nods to you, knowing that only you should have been able to hurt. You and her kind of have a secret little friendship thing going on there.
Then
Actually, you're welcome just because.
You're welcome.
I asked Roderick, hey, can we chat for a second?
Sure.
I wanted to thank you for everything that you did for me.
Nothing. Nothing compared to what you and everyone else has to sacrifice to get me back, pretty much. Just a shame about Krista.
It means a lot. I didn't know that I could depend on someone else, so you've given me that.
Of course. I don't know how to feel now.
Oh man.
The feels.
All the feels.
Well,
Hurry. Fan fiction needs to work.
A new one starts.
Oh man, there's way more put up here now. Holy shit. Yeah, we only got...
Oh god.
It is like 5 times longer than the initial statement. Alright, so we'll...
Let's get back before they start feeling left out.
yeah.
We want to hear more of this.
Ready to...
We'll get to the fan fiction at the break. Okay, so until then, and it might get pushed out of chat. It's possible, but we'll wait till then. All right, so 2 hours or an hour and a half. So keep your pants on.
Just copy it so they don't lose it because they would feel bad.
All right. God damn, it's a huge check.
Poor Larry
man.
doesn't want that on his computer.
That's kind of what it comes down to. This could be very incriminating to have fucking fan fiction about my characters.
Roderick and I go back to the group.
My eyeball.
I don't even know what to say.
Hey, dude, you're the first person that had a fan. You should be so happy. Okay. Of everyone, you have a fan.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Rip, no fans, no friends.
What? We got your back too, man.
It's okay.
All right, let's pull it in. Pull it in, guys. Pull it in. All right. So you are currently awake. You're kind of packing your stuff up. There's food already prepared for you. An assortment of fruit that seems to have somehow miraculously been laid out and out on like stone surfaces. Apples, bananas, pears. Yeah,
She one-upped me with create food.
a wide variety of fruits are available for you to consume at your pleasure, and the angel-like gestures for you to partake in it if you would so like to. You're allowed to. Or you may eat your own rations, it's your choice.
Anime will partake of the fruit.
Partaking of the fruit, of course. The fruit of
Okay.
someone
Of
else's
course.
Well, I mean,
Nice.
anime is still sore after,
I think it will avoid the apples provided by the angel.
Okay. A whole bit of potential sin associated with that. We will avoid the apples. Okay. So
That's
you
fair.
you guys partake in the food. It is all right. It's a little bit more bland than you anticipated, but it does do the job. Potentially, maybe the environment you're in doesn't produce good fruit. Maybe. So you have your meals.
There's bananas, I don't know how she got that.
Yes.
Here, I'm at a banana.
All right. So, what would you guys like to do as you look out this early morning? We're around 9, 10 in the evening. You see the clearing you're in. You see the water. The water nearby you is heavily, I don't want to say muddy, but there's definitely a large amount of debris that it has. You can tell that's been bleeding off into it, and it's still filled with like rock. And every now and then you still feel a little bit of a pulse or a shake in the ground. So whatever fuck happened is still having some effects, even 8 hours later, on the environment nearby you. You can stare off towards back the way you.
Look at the necklace.
Okay, so you look past the creek, which like past this little giant debris of rock. The dust has settled at this point, and you see the mountain face as it's changed. It's dramatically different. The pile of rocks is quite large. You can start cross the creek and start looking for the necklace if you'd like.
I would like to go across the creek and cast a locate object.
All right, and what would you like to locate?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Oh, well, all right, the spell fizzles. You don't know what you're casting on, so...
Oh god, the golden necklace with its olden time, little gem in the middle. It's probably only one real necklace in the area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so you look for a necklace. So, you do get a bead of an item that is a necklace. It's probably 200 feet up this map, like this rock slide. So you can kind of navigate your way towards it. And you get that it's underground, a good 80 feet or 100 feet of debris is kind of piled on top of it. A large amount of debris is over it.
I thought I couldn't see through this much shit. I like it though. I found a guy. He's like, come on to the group.
Okay.
Alright,
It's underground.
I don't need any fan fiction for me. Don't worry about it. But thank you for the offer, Red Pill. Alright, so you guys are trying to locate this. Now, locate object only lasts 10 minutes, so they can help give you advantage on finding it.
I will give him guidance.
Okay, so... Actually, I should say, who's going to dig for it is the question. Who's digging for it? That's the question.
I'll dig for it.
Doma's going to dig for it.
Okay. Haname's just going to be playing a tune on the violin to try to give him strength.
Inspiration.
She can burn inspiration to help you if she would like to.
Sure, why not? Just one.
Alright, who are you inspiring and what are you doing to inspire them?
Doma, and I'm going to basically play the closest thing to metal. This roll.
Are you playing on your harp?
Nice.
Are you playing on a lyre or your flute?
Violin.
Oh, violin. Oh,
Metal.
jeez. Alright,
I
interesting.
only have a violin and a harp.
You've got to sing a song though.
Nah.
Well, she just plays a little diddly, and not really earned, but you have earned. I mean, you've acquired a inspiration. Boo earns, Haname. Boo earns. It's a D8 for you, I think, right now.
Yep. I said
All right,
Haname.
so you have-
I don't know what that does.
It basically gives you a D4 to an ability check. You can add it to it before or after making the ability check.
So you feel a small song tune falling in your ears. It kind of makes you feel a little bit more attuned with your senses. And then Roger places a hand on your shoulder, and then you feel like a twist of fate kind of bending
You
you
can do it,
way. And so you want to start digging? All right.
Yes, I do.
All right. You can roll with advantage. Yeah, you need that advantage.
Fucking kidding, eh?
Oh man,
Oh my gosh.
you're using luck.
Yep.
There we go.
Hey.
Now it's at-
All right, and you're gonna burn your inspiration, I guess. All right, and then do you want to use the bless on it too?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
grab your D4. God, you needed all of this apparently. It would not have happened otherwise.
Do it all.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so
15.
Woo.
and then you add your fucking what's your intelligence modifier, man?
Oh god.
You're doing investigation, so plus or minus whatever your investigation skill is.
Investigation. Plus 1.
Plus 1.
16.
16. All right. As you're digging through the rock and people are helping you, you spend the remaining 7 minutes of your spell trying to dig your way down to it, and you unfortunately do not get down to it. As the spell was fading, you do realize you're probably within 20 feet or so, but that's as far as you could get.
It's a long way to fucking dig.
I mean, you guys are theoretically helping them already, through whatever methods you're trying to contribute, even if it's not like Roderick, just picking up one pebble at a time and throwing it down, or if someone's
Yeah.
rage digging, probably Auric. I mean,
Maybe.
Yeah, so every now and then a small little stone skips its way down the rock surface. Evelyn throwing her contributions to the group.
Expecting that to be so noble.
Hey guys, I picked up a rock.
Can I sense where it is?
Do you want to? Okay, yeah, make an Arcana check.
I mean, you could just ask Drake. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, do you need more guidance?
Too late. You already rolled.
Okay, what is this?
Arcana, yeah.
That's +1, so 13.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you look at the stone, and none of the stone feels magical to you.
Looks like a rock. Guys, can anyone find it?
Looks like a pile of rocks. A very big pile of rocks. That's what it looks like.
I'm gonna continue moving rocks, guys.
All right.
Someone can find this thing.
I'm gonna say, where did you see it last? I'm gonna pull out my alchemical glasses.
Well, there was a
Don't
freaking
fucking melt it.
Whoa, let me. Robert will go up to Doma where he's at and cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic, which you can do with no repercussions. You sense.
I had to find the bloody thing.
You sense no magic within 30 feet of you that besides your party mates.
And I move around this area that we made to search for.
Mm-hmm. And you move around, and with your 10 minutes of detect magic, you do not sense magic coming from the stone below. And Doma talks to you with a conviction that it was only about 20 feet down, so you should be able to sense it, but you do not.
Yeah, Doma, I'm not really seeing anything.
Well, let's keep digging and then try and take my best opinion of where it was and keep digging.
Alright, so now you may roll investigation again.
I give guidance.
Okay, you get guidance again.
Okay, investigation.
How many guidances do you have? Is this a
That's a
cantrip?
It's a cantrip.
+4.
It's a cantrip?
It's a cantrip, yes.
17 +4.
Did you roll a 4, or did you just leave that on 4 there, buddy? I didn't see it get flipped in the air.
No, I rolled a 17.
Alright, well, so that's 21 plus 1, because that means a 22. After digging and moving rocks to the side, you guys are hearing like Doma not giving up. About 2 minutes later, Doma, you feel something kind of brush against your fingertips. Doesn't feel like stone, it feels like a cold metal, and you manage to pull this item out, and there in your hands is a very damaged and crushed golden chain necklace. As you kind of wipe the dust off of it like an archaeological find, you find that the gem that was on the necklace is cracked, and it's just fragments, still somewhat barely holding on from the setting, but
it's all there, right?
I mean, not all of it. About half the gem has been destroyed, and it's kind of like fallen, presumably in the pile of rubble or just underneath a bunch of shit.
I'm gonna try and collect what I can and bring it over now.
Right, well that is what you found. You basically have the golden chain and we'll say a dime's worth of black gem.
Hey, Al, you think you can fix this thing?
There's a bunch of pieces that I can fix what's left, I guess.
It's better than not having a necklace.
I take a minute and I do meditate.
Okay, so you try to repair the cracks in the surface between places you can. You can't repair where there isn't three-dimensional space, but in between two areas you can mend, basically, kind of like smooth them together like a wax coating or something like that. And with that, you reskin it. It doesn't look as beat up, but clearly the gem is not repaired. I mean, the gem is still missing. It's fragmented off, and the magic has not returned to the item.
I just wanted the necklace in general to look better. Because I'm
Well,
going to show it to the angel and ask her if she recognizes it.
You make it does look better.
Hey, Aniel, does this ring any bells? And I hold it up.
She looks at it and shakes her head.
Because this is what we kind of went into to find you. Well, the gem part anyway.
Okay, I didn't know it was a necklace to begin with. I thought we were already past that point, but sure.
Hey, I thought maybe if you didn't remember, it might bring back a memory. Worth a shot.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, guys, we found the stuff. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right. Where to?
We head towards Windhide.
to win time.
All right, so you guys look around the environment you're in, and you decide that you would like to head southwestish, to try to get back to Windheim. As you begin your way trekking down the stone surface, you don't get very far, actually. About 30 minutes in your journey across this mountain range as you're going down, you hear something off in the distance. Like a caw of a raven. Mm-hmm.
I would like to try and perceive
Not a-
making the noise.
Ah.
Cool. You know, I'd like to try to perceive it if I can, wherever it is.
Okay, so you can make a perception roll to see if you can locate it.
12 plus my perception, which is not high, plus 2. 14.
You look around the environment. You're not seeing it.
So I need the general direction.
Yeah, well, from the initial call that you heard, it did sound like it was coming from your left, which would be east, because you guys are heading south.
Quack, is that you?
Oh God.
Quack.
Quack. I want to know where he's at now.
I
You
don't.
could always message him, but we don't really need Quack.
I'll send that in character.
Oh.
Hey man.
We all know who's the dick in the group.
What
What
is
do you
that?
mean? It's us.
All right, so yeah, I mean, the group stops. They hear it to the
And
left.
if Quack's in trouble, I would help
What?
him.
So we don't even know what direction it came from, right?
Doma knows it came west. I'm sorry, eastward. Yes, eastward.
Eastward.
Towards your left, which would be east.
Or tall.
Does it really pique our interest? Like, does it sound unnatural, or does it just sound like a fucking pro?
Question to DM: Does owl bears make owl noises like that?
Make a nature check. Make a nature check.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Does the old bear sound like a crow?
It's in nature, right?
Yes, nature.
17.
No, owl bears do not sound like ravens. They have a more of a grunt. They sound more like a bear in nature. So it's more like sound.
Sounds like Trinket.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they sound like a bear. So there you go.
Well, guys, whatever that was is coming from over there at 9
I think we should avoid that direction. Let's keep moving.
You then hear you hear bushes moving, shrubs moving, as you all kind of like grab your weapons to prepare for a potential fray.
Wild Quack appears.
Doma, your AC is like an 18, right?
Yep.
Alright, so Doma, an arrow flies right past you. About
Jesus.
6 inches away, but it embeds itself in a tree. In there. And you then see, out of the bush, a black humanoid, feathered, running, and you hear screaming coming from behind him. And there before you is a familiar-looking Birdman. He is covered in scrapes, cuts, and he's bleeding. You see several arrows along in his back shoulders. He's got at least 2, one on the left, one on the right. He looks like he's fatigued. His steps are wide, and his eyes go wide when he sees you.
Quack, get the fuck over here, man. What the hell is happening?
Enemies, straight behind enemies.
Alright, well, Hame is going to
We're
grab
gonna
her
run up
shotgun
and try and help him.
I think
We're
we've
gonna
got
try and defend him from any arrows that come at him.
All right, so you guys bunker down, and as you wait for the approaching forces of whatever it happens to be,
Stealth check.
that's what you want to do. All right, yeah, go ahead and do a stealth
Well,
check.
we've still got a potion somewhere, don't we? I mean, I'd like to.
I don't stealth.
You don't stealth. All right, well, so go ahead and position yourselves in the roughly where you would basically be.
So
Is there
this-
any
Well, I
cover?
ran to help
Yeah,
Quack. Where's Quack?
can we get a little context?
Where's
Link,
Quack?
where do you want to stand?
Where beeth quack?
Frickin' quack.
Dang quack.
Alright, so, give me a second, please.
About to pull up that token, aren't you?
I am. It's not terribly far away.
Quack.
I miss Kawak. Kawak, no die.
There it
Kawak,
is.
no dessert.
Quack, no dessert. Quack, no dessert.
He was so useless.
Alright, so
Oh, man,
Quack,
you gotta food like
coming out of
that.
the bush, you see him injured and bloody. You guys are somewhere in this vicinity. You may position yourselves accordingly.
Well, I'm gonna rush up and try and help him.
Alright, so you run towards your friend.
Yeah.
The normal response.
So, is this green area right here?
That's bushes. This one would be a tree. This is the high brush he came like running through.
Okay. Can I be like trying to get behind a tree for cover in this area?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Okay.
Face button.
I think that's okay. Right there. Wait.
Ark, why? How are you the tank out of all this? I mean, really.
Alright, so with that, I need initiative rolls, please. Where's my angel? Why is she? Oh, there she is.
Yeah, where'd she move?
She's gonna be right there.
Protect me.
Protect you? Pff, she doesn't care about you.
Oh. Ooh, I hit a natty 20.
What the fuck? The bar
Let's
goes first.
go! I got a unnatural 20.
Correct. Someone else got a natty 20.
Unnatural, bro. Unnat.
And
Which means,
Work
depending
out.
on his dexterity, he actually could go before me.
Now the NPCs didn't
Wait,
roll
you're
very
not-
good, so you're not got a lot of competition.
then again, if you look at our wolves, Laris,
Your rolls. Well, where is it? Where am I looking for? Oh.
they're classically terrible. I hear pings being spawned.
Yes, you should. I'm spawning things.
Ah, boy. Here we go. Orc army.
Damn it, not again. Hopefully it's not the buff guy this time. Hopefully it's not Mr. Chief.
Chief.
Get those tokens out of here. I don't want to fight those boobs.
Alright, with that.
Doesn't look like a low roll to me.
So, somewhere out there is potentially things coming. You don't know how many, but you see your injured friend and you're trying to help. Okay, so first thing first is going to be Haname. You have the first turn to react right now. Right over here to your left. You're in the bush behind this tree. You can like peek around and you see there's just like you hear bushes and twigs snapping and leaves moving basically. Somewhere off in this area over here. You cannot see through that area here.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to prepare a Call Lightning spell
Did you refresh? Wait for it to refresh.
to, if I see any enemies make a hostile action towards these allies up front.
Let's see, restart.
I thought you had to be closer than what you are for calling.
No. It's got 100-foot range.
Oh my god, these tokens merge somehow. For fuck's sake.
How did the token merge?
Hey, it fixed itself. Alright. Alright, so you're going to prepare... You're going to try to hold an action for a Call Lightning?
Yep.
Okay, so that means the spell is consumed regardless. But if your trigger is met, you can use it.
Okay.
Is that even like during like once it happens immediately?
It basically he's starting to cast the spell, or she is starting to cast the spell Call Lightning right now, but she doesn't have a target, and so if she doesn't, if her trigger is not met by the start of her turn, the mana is spent regardless. The spell slot's gone, but if the trigger is met, she can then zap something basically.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
did you still want to do it?
I'll just go ahead and do it then, and I will cast the center point right... Oop, hold on. Here.
All right, so you're gonna cast Call Lightning over there.
It's a 60-foot radius, I believe.
R.I.P. Quack.
No.
You already injured Quack.
It's basically I'm summoning a lightning storm that I can direct the lightning bolts wherever I want for like 10 minutes.
Gross. Hey, who's javelin?
All right, so centered on a point you can see. You cannot see that point. It's currently obscured, so you cannot strike it.
No, I should be able to see the air though.
The spell fails if you can't see the point in the air where the storm cloud could appear, but it also says it's oh wait, so a storm cloud appears in the shape of a cylinder that within 10 feet. Okay, so yeah, you could spawn in the air. Okay, that is true. All right, the spell fails if you can't see the point in the air.
You spawned at 100 feet in the
Cast
air.
a spell, choose a point that you can know. You still have to be able to see the point where the bolt of lightning striking. So you can create it, but you can't strike down there, unfortunately, unless you move yourself.
Yeah.
Second paragraph. So you have created it. You want to strike? I mean, it's a 100-foot area, so you could zap it like anywhere around here, basically, if you'd like. I'm sorry, 60-foot radius. So would you like to just strike somewhere else, or would you like to wait for something to come out?
I'm going to wait for something to come out.
Okay, good. So effectively, spells used. You guys see this flooming dark cloud suddenly appear in the space around you. No rain's coming. It's just rolling thunder clouds, and you're hearing the thunder kind of bouncing around in the forest. And your turn's done, Haname. Roderick, you're up.
Oh, that's an interesting spell.
Yeah, by the way, those two little like orange marks that you see are basically the points that I can cast it in.
Alright. Oh, taking a note from that page. So Roderick shall prep his favorite spell.
Do it.
Eldritch Blast.
All right, and
Aw.
the criteria is if you see an enemy, you zap them.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next up is so archer number 1 is going to peek its head out down here, and it's going to then this is not in your range for your storm, or your storm was centered here. Is that right?
Yeah. The
So
storm's
technically you
centered
could see her. Technically you could see her, so you can go ahead and make her do the dex check. Yep.
Yep. And what is it again?
It's a saving throw against your. It's a dex saving throw against your DC, which she rolled a 13.
Nope, fail.
Okay,
15.
so you can roll damage. She's gonna get fried.
Okay, it's 3d10s.
All right.
And I take it the weather's clear.
There was clear weather beforehand, besides your new
Okay.
accumulation of clouds that have just kind of created themselves right now from your spell.
Alright. That would be 17.
Yeesh. All right, so this orc like pops its head out of the bush, like you see like appear, and then it like pulls an arrow and like aims it towards Quack, and then before you hear like a behind and a flash of light, and she looks up, and this gets shocked from the electricity going through them. She falls to the side for a moment, grinding her teeth. She sits back up and she fires an arrow towards Quack. She didn't die. Well, that's not gonna hit him. So the arrow flies off. Still smoke and steam kind of like skidding off of her leather armor. She looks bloodied. There's blood like charred marks on her body. She doesn't look very good. Okay, and another orc moves over here.
Is that in range?
Technically for you, Roderick, yes.
Everything's in range. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if you wanted to shoot this one, you could too, technically, as well.
The blue area, everything is in range of the blue area.
Pretty
Well, he
much.
can see it. You couldn't see past the bush, so you could see this
No,
target
I
here.
understand. I just drew out the area covered by the spell, though.
Yeah.
So would you
I
like
can split 'em out,
to
though.
would you like to Eldritch Blast this orc or this one?
I'll go for the one that's already.
Already hurt. Okay, roll. Go ahead and roll. Well, one of those will hit. The other will not.
Bet. 20 and a 9.
So the 9 fails. Go ahead and roll damage for the one that you hit. So somehow she's still in the fight. Like part of her like armor kind of gets blasted off. You see this like green orc skin, and there's blood coming out of it. And she's currently grabbing at the wound, and she's trying to prepare her next arrow because it's fight or die. The other archer comes around and it's going to go ahead and look at around the combat. It sees you just firing a spell, and so it's going to shoot an arrow at you, Roderick. That's a 16.
Well, before we do that, I was going to use the entropic ward to impose disadvantage on that attack roll against me.
Okay, is this like a reaction or something?
Yes.
Okay, so you burn your reaction. Okay, you can go ahead and I guess I roll again. Alright, so it became a 16 to a 14.
It still hits me anyway.
Alright, so you lose your reaction. Lombo, you take 8 points of piercing. 8 points of piercing damage from the arrow striking you. Oh, yeah. You're using your, what's it called, aren't you? It's your Fey feature. Not Fey feature. Okay, well, anyways. Alright, anywho. Arrow hits you, you take 8 points of piercing damage. Her turn's done. That's it for them, the archers. Now up is the rogues. This guy would basically get to there. He's going to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gets to there, basically. This rogue gets here. He's going to move up to Quack. Actually, no, they can't. That's as far as they could get. So, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, he would still... No, he probably would throw one of his daggers. Alright, he's going to throw a dagger at Quack. Nope, that misses. Alright, so these guys suck. That's the end of the rogue's turn, and now it's Doma's turn. Actually, I'm sorry, it's Quack's turn, because Quack has a higher dex than you does, any Doma.
What's his dex, but probably?
It's +4.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So Quack retreats over here, trying to get distance. He's going to fire an arrow at the injured chick. Natural 20. Minimum damage, regardless, minimum damage is enough to kill her. So this orc, you see like her left arm like get blasted off of her body and get pinned to a tree, and she just kind of falls to the ground screaming before the scream basically stops as she goes unconscious and presumably dies. He's then gonna take a second shot against this rogue here, which is that's gonna hit. Well, that's not high in damage. Alright, Quack's turn's done. As he fires 2 shots, killing the orc archer and hurting the orc rogue. It's now Doma's turn.
Oh. Oh gosh. Waste him. I'll move over here and smack him.
Okay.
Twice. 9 and 18. No, it's a 6 and an 18. So the 6 probably misses. The 18 hits.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage for the 18 then.
It's 2. Wait, what the fuck's my weapon? 1d8 plus 7, right? No, 5. Yeah, 1d8 plus 5. 7 plus 5. Woo.
Okay, so you swing the weapon twice. The rogue manages to parry the first attack, but then you kind of slide it past and still strike into his abdomen. Blood kind of pours out. Ugh!
Surrender or die.
He spits on the ground. And now it's...
Orcs don't surrender.
Alright.
This is what happens when I play a demon in a different game. Everyone's rolling stuff. Fight me. Where you going?
Alright, this guy's dashing. This guy here is gonna dash.
Quack, no.
Only one of them gets to an attack. That's this one here. He's gonna try to attack you, Doma. Jesus Christ, they suck. Alright, he misses. fuck?
Hit me with your best shot.
Okay, technically it's Evelyn's turn.
What do you mean?
Murder them all, Evelyn. I know you can.
I like that word. Technically, it's Evelyn's turn.
Technically it's Evelyn's turn.
Awkward.
Awkward!
Alright. I am going to. Let's see. I am going to firebolt this dude in the face that's running at Roderick.
Okay. Yeah, it's a clutch failure, that's what it is. She starts weaving the spell of the firebolt, and you throw the spell off, but it just fizzles in the air, like it just couldn't manifest the magic to actually go more than like a foot in front of you. So it's like a little small, like a little spark. More like a firework than anything, really.
It's all good. Sorry.
She yells sorry for failing. Alright, orc. You got an orc breathing down your neck. A couple of them have roamed into the area.
There's more than I was expecting. Two randomly pop out of a bush chasing Quack. How bad does Quack look, by the way? Like,
It's not your turn.
can you tell? Alright.
But he looks very rough.
Poor Quack.
Well, if we fail to save him, at least we have dinner tonight.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh my
This is
god.
like 9 times worse than what I said. Jesus Christ.
Just like chicken.
Wow. Alright, Oric, what do you want to do? You want to turn your fire breath on Quack to help make that meal tonight?
No.
Might as well. I can't. Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. I'm gonna move
Well, I
over
didn't quite
here.
move. Can I still move on my turn?
Yeah, you can move your 6 spaces.
And then I'm gonna use my breath attack at this.
Sure. Alright, so it's Dex saving throws, yeah?
Is your brother kind of Quack, literally?
No,
Really?
no,
No,
no.
I'm not. No.
He's angling it just to the left of Quack.
Oh, to get the other two. Okay, I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Quack might feel the heat. He might feel the heat.
He's already almost
Alright.
dead.
The one next to you resists, it's half damage. The other one next to Quack. It's a no, it's a Dex save, right? Dex save?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dex
Oh.
save DC's 13.
Yeah, okay, he basically rolled 12, so it's full damage on him.
Okay.
So half full.
Is it 3d6 now?
At 6th level, it becomes 3d6.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. Rolling.
Alright, Red Pill, enjoy your dinner, and hope to see you back.
End up with 8.
8 damage.
Yeah, take that.
Whoop! Not that.
Not good.
Alright, so as this like torrent of flame, you open your mouth, and fire rushes out. The orc in front of you like puts his shield and kind of blocks most of it, but someone still creeps past, burning his feet, and the ones that get past his feet go into the orc behind, who's not even paying attention. You see him turn, or from Quack's perspective, he turns and he gets burned in his face and on his body. Smoke singeing off of him. He's like patting out the flames.
And his eyes fall out. They just like
No.
run out of his head like
No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark when
No.
their faces melt.
Alright, so then it's technically the angel's turn. She is going. Where is she? Oh. She's gonna move up to this orc. She pulls out. From, I guess, Haname, Roderick, and Evelyn would see this. Like, she flips her hands around, and suddenly a long silver staff appears in her hands, and she swings it towards the target.
What one?
A long silver staff appears out of out of air as she swings it towards the orc.
I don't want that stuff.
But this is the
Go,
rogue.
Anya, I believe.
She misses.
What?
Nice. She's not maybe meant for melee.
Okay, Annie, I did the same thing.
I I believe in you, Eddie.
Alright.
She missed one, it wasn't even her, too.
Alright, so technically now it is Haname's turn. Haname, as the entire round of combat resumes beginning, Quack yells to everyone, "More coming! Run!" And it's your turn, Haname.
Okay, well, Haname is going to cast, or, like, use her action to hit right here.
Sure, alright, they both have to make dex because it's everything within 5 feet.
So that way it doesn't hit Doma.
So this guy here, he rolled a 14 and yours is, you're a 16 or
15.
15? Alright, so he takes full. This guy here rolls a 2, so he gets wrecked. Alright, roll damage.
Alright.
I gotta get better NPCs, man. These fights, they feel like they're fucking wank.
19.
19? Jesus Christ.
Might as well have Doma roll.
And then I'm going
Alright, so this guy here, the rogue, he just looks up as the lightning like flashes, and you don't even hear a scream. There's just like a skeleton with partial flesh still on it. It's charred as it like clatters to the ground. This guy here, he's like grinding himself to the ground. He's still standing after the bolt of lightning hits him, or behind him really. He looks towards Doma. Presumably still going to keep trying to fight you.
It's okay, guys. As long as my concentration holds up, I have 58 more turns of being able to cast this.
Okay. Next up is Roderick.
Yep.
Get a good rider.
Yep.
Alright, it's time to fail a spell.
Woo! We can
Nah.
do it!
Alright, I'm not liking this
can't
guy.
fail,
He was
I
so
know
close.
you can't.
Yeah, he's a little too close.
Alright, so what I can do is,
Go beat him up for touching our angel.
Someone needs to ask Angel if she can, like, just throw stuff from a distance instead of going in to attack.
She's technically our healer, I guess.
We don't know what she can do.
Oh my gosh, she's our white mage. We have to protect her.
Okay, so anyways, what do you want to do, Roderick? Instead of everyone else strategizing?
yeah, everybody was talking. Void Bolt, right here.
Void Bolt, alright. Go ahead and roll the attack. Let's see you just liquefy this fuck.
Alright, let's go.
That's not good.
That was whatever this is.
What do you mean that wasn't your roll? I saw this dice
I just
move.
moved it away.
Oh, come on, that's the
No, really,
bullshit.
I
Alright.
moved it away. I was
Salty DM.
Alright, what the fuck did you roll then? Oh, man.
The 20.
20, it's not a nat 20, it's a 2012. It hits the fucker, though. Alright, roll your 4d6. I'm sorry, no, it's 5d6?
No, I'm using the one a day, so it's the 4.
No, you're doing... Oh, the free one, yeah, okay.
The
Yeah.
salty DM is real.
Well, he threw a dice! Come on! I have right to be angry! I mean, you could all purposely spawn a bunch of dice and say, oh, I was just moving that one, and moving that one. This is the real one, right? Like,
It's 8, man. It's 8.
oh, fuck. Alright, so, from your perspective, as you, like, start channeling as this orc, as it's kind of, like, pulled 2 daggers out, and it's kind of in a phrase, it's parrying Aniel's staff currently. You hear this, like, moaning whisper coming from your hands, as then you just fire this bolt of kind of necrotic energy as it like hits and impacts into the orc's lower leg, and you just see like his leg kind of twist into itself, the muscle kind of spiraling in. You see blood kind of splatter out. The orc loses balance momentarily. He puts his foot to the ground. He's still alive, but he grinds his teeth. He looks towards you, and he prepares to throw a dagger your way.
And he has disadvantage now from now on.
No, he does not. But he's got this like kind of black energy kind of like coursing over him. He does have illumination a little bit, so it's easier to see him. Kind of like a glow. So you have anyone has advantage on their next attack against the fucker.
That's a weird motion right there, but it ends right there.
All right, so you kind of zigzag. I'll find an alligator. Left, right, up, down, left, and you eventually find your spot. Okay. And I like how you guys are all like in a giant line here. So if one of these guys gets over here and fires a lightning bolt, he'll get hurt. Excellent. Great battle. Great battle awareness.
Why?
What did happen?
All right. So now it's technically the one archer remaining. She takes aim towards I think technically the closest target for her it would be Aniel. She's gonna fire an arrow at Aniel.
Why?
Cause she's fucking in the open.
We have a bro.
And it hits her.
Wings.
It hits her. So you see, like Aniel, she's like currently like trying to impose herself between this orc and you because you guys are super squishy apparently. You see this arrow kind of like fly into her as it lands right into her shoulder. It's sticking out. She takes a grand total of 9 piercing damage.
I was just waiting for you to say these NPCs suck.
Well, they hit my angel, so she sucks too. Alright, that's that one. Now it's the rogue's turn, who's going to throw a dagger. Actually, yeah, he's going to move out of melee with Aniel. She'll try to attack him with her opportunity attack. But she has advantage because you're fucking guiding bolt. Then she hits.
Aniel, we believed.
What's her fucking strength mod? God,
She doesn't even know because she hasn't hit yet.
I don't look at her sheet for a while. So okay, so she does 7 damage. Alright, so she hits him, and the orc didn't expect her original posture was poor, so he doesn't expect her to actually have the battle powers to hit him. And so he kind of looks away from me, jumps to the side, and he tries to throw the dagger. But as he's mid jump, she then strikes him into the hip, and he kind of loses balance from him. He looks towards her, but then he looks back at Roderick, who just hurt his leg. He throws the dagger at you anyway, Roderick. Roderick, does a 14 hit you?
Yes.
All right, you take a beautiful 5 piercing damage as his dagger kind of scrapes past your cheek. You feel like blood kind of slowly going down your cheek. It kind of clatters off against some kind of wood behind you. And the rogue is now going to take a remainder of his movement, and he's going to enter melee with you, actually. Yeah, he's going to move over here, get a little bit more distance. So he's in melee with you. Yeah. All right. And the other orc rogue is dead. Okay. It's now Quack's turn. Quack is going to use disengage as his action, and he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to run over here, and that's his turn. And now it's Doma's turn.
I get to smack someone twice again. It's nice. And not 1 and 3.
Okay, so those are gonna miss. Anything else in your turn?
Cry.
Okay, cry all you want. I didn't hit you, so can you please not hurt me? And now it's the orc warrior's turn. The one in front of you, Doma, is gonna kind of come to the side. That's not gonna be enough. It's only a 14. This one here is going to dance around Orc again. This kind of... Nope, actually he's going to dance this way. Yeah, that's what he'll do. Alright, Orc, he's going to try to strike you. That's a natural 2! God damn it. 1, 2, 3. He's going to run after Quack. And that is that. Evelyn, you're up.
Okay, so I heard Quack say to run because there's more, right?
Mm-hmm.
He yelled that out.
You all heard it, yeah.
Is it my turn to, if I want to do a perception to see, what else is coming from that
Sure.
side, or...
It doesn't cost your turn to do that. You can make a perception check for free.
Take a little glance over there. I believe in you.
15.
Okay. So, you do hear more, footsteps coming. There's plenty more coming your way from the left, but you also see directly in front of you a couple faces from down here, and they just make eye contact with you, and now they're running northward towards you guys. They're a good, I would say, 100 feet away, but they're trying to get to you as well, and they look like they're black hair, greenish hued skin, relative the same battle armaments of those around you currently that are fighting you, so they look like they're in tow with them.
Okay. So basically
Yeah, there's 3 coming from the front, from how many are over there, and you don't know how many are coming more from eastward.
Okay, I'm gonna firebolt the one in front of me here with Roderick. Actually, I'm gonna step out of this line here quick. And I'm gonna fire a firebolt, sorry, at him.
Okay.
14.
14 on that one. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Eight plus 4 is 12.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm just gonna yell,
So as you fire, it was the one next to Roderick, right?
right, yeah.
Alright, so you just like twist your arms around, you throw this fireball forward, and the orc, not really paying attention to you, he hears like Quack moving, he looks behind him towards Quack, turns back to the guy in front of him, doesn't even see you coming, and this giant like bright light comes to his field of view, and he kind of puts his hand up to block it, but at the end of it, he's just ash. His body kind of falls down to the ground. Dead.
And then I'm just gonna say, there's more coming from, and I just kind of like, I don't know what direction the other ones are coming from.
This is south. This is south.
I'll announce there's more coming from the south, just to everyone. I don't really know what our options are, but I'm gonna yell it out.
Okay. Yell it. Alright. And now it's Orc's turn.
Alright. With that, I am going to. How's the guy next to me looking? Is he pretty worn out?
The one next to you? He's taking a little bit of damage, but no, he's doing pretty good.
Alright.
You see a little bit of singe marks on his shield that kind of blocked your fire breath.
Yeah. Well, I'm freaking messed that fool up. I'm gonna go ahead and
Not the right thing.
pull out my crossbow. And I'm gonna take my movement and I'm gonna provoke an opportunity attack.
Okay. So you move out of melee, and he'll swing. He will take that free attack. It's a 13.
Nope.
Okay, so goes wide.
Yeah, sucks when you can't hit a target as big as me. Two,
These are very disappointing orcs. They rely on numbers, not their own powers, apparently.
yeah, apparently. And I'm gonna take a pot shot at this dude because I'm sick of that guy. He's
Okay.
just-
So you're shooting with your crossbow?
Yep, shoot him with a crossbow.
Okay.
And rolling to hit. It's a 16.
That just hits. Barely.
Yeah, so big. And 1d8, rolling it here.
Woo!
Plus 2, so 10 damage.
Alright, so this orc to your side here is you pull the string back, fire the crossbow. Well, actually, don't pull it back. You just aim the crossbow, right? And the bolt flies off, and the orc attempts to, like, twist his body away, but cuts right across his back. Doesn't actually embed into him, but you see this, like, large laceration on his back with blood's trickling down. And he's still looking at Quack. He looks towards you, and his eyes still stay towards Quack. And now it's our angel's turn. So she is going to retreat over here.
Yay.
She's going to go ahead and in her hand, a yellow light appears, and then she throws it towards this guy here. And he passes. So the light energy like sparks against the ground, and the orc sidesteps it, and you see a little bit of radiant damage lingering in the area. The orc like looks up. He sees that he's kind of a little overextended. He looks behind him. He sees a couple orcs near Doma, but a little bit of sweat forming on his face. Doesn't look like he's doing too good this far forward. Okay, that's her turn, and now we're back at the top. at the top of the round, more orcs join the fray. Alright, so these more orcs come up, that they basically will play their initiative at the start of their turn.
I feel slightly surrounded.
Okay, so Haname, your turn may begin.
Alright. I'm going to move over here. And then let's see here.
Oh, damn.
Would these three guys right here, here, and here be in range for a lightning bolt?
They're in range for it, but you can't hit all three.
It's just a line. It procs no matter how many people are in the line.
Yes, the thing is that it can't hit all three. The line is only 5 feet wide, right?
Right. So, could I hit more than one with it?
You could hit 2. You can't.
You could hit 3 if you include me.
Yes. Well, no. Her angle. Look at her angle. She'll miss this guy. She can hit 3 if she hits Doma. But I mean, she can hit 2 with Doma for 3. She can hit these 2 for 1. I mean, that's the best you basically do is a lightning bolt to hit those 2.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to hit them both with a lightning bolt then.
Okay, so you fire a lightning bolt at these 2. They make dex saving throws. This guy fails.
15.
And this archer succeeds.
Okay, so if I remember right, it's 8d6.
Correct. Lightning damage.
Gross.
D6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I tell you, the orc next to Doma is fucked. There's no way.
29.
Yeah, he's dead. So this guy, and he just falls to the ground. Blood like coming out of his ears, body smoldering. The orc chick, she takes half, so it's 14.
Yep.
And you hear a similar like clattering of teeth and body shaking from a female orc instead of a male orc, but she manages to still be standing. She's heavily breathing. Yeah.
God, I feel like a lot of orcs have rabies.
Anything else for you there, homie?
I guess I will. I can still nah.
You can.
I'll save it.
You can use your bonus
I'll
action.
save
But yeah, alright, Roger, you're up.
Oh snap! All right, Eldritch Blast.
Which one?
All of them.
Yes, all of them, all at once.
You
have
fail.
that simple thing that you can use.
What are you talking? That one? Okay, roll.
And
Save Quack. Hashtag save Quack.
oh wow. All right, so let's get to 2.
Well, that
Nobody
one's
else.
beautiful. The 11 probably will hit
Nice.
because you have like a +9. So.
Hey, come on, that's
7,
111.
All right, so 18. Yeah, the 18
Yeah,
hits this guy. Okay. Roll your damage for the 1. Looks like it's 2. So you hear
I like your spell.
he gets hit by this grayish green energy. You see part of his like form bounces back a bit, but he's still like persevering towards your Kenku friend.
Are we still doing strength saves for the pushing?
He got rid of that talent after the nerf came through.
Oh, alright.
In retrospect, he didn't like that I nerfed that ability, and well, it sucks to be him, so I let him get something else.
What ability?
The free pushback whenever you land an Eldritch Bolt.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I made it. In my games, it's a dice challenge strength check for the target, so they can at least try to resist it. It's still against your DC, so there's a lot of failing going on anyways. But all right, so Roderick runs over there. We're moving more and more out of the blue sphere where the clouds are. Alright, Roger, your turn's done. Archers. Let's see. She's the only one that can actually do anything this turn. She's gonna come over here. Actually, why would she? She would have no reason. No, she would. She'd move here. And she's gonna go ahead and fire an arrow towards Auric.
Oh wow, I like how they're ignoring me.
Natural 20. It's not a miss. Fuck you.
Crits don't miss, otherwise.
Well, she rolled a 1 on the first and a 3 on the second, so not a lot of damage. 4 plus. So 8 piercing is what hits you.
Man, these NPCs are the best.
They are. They're pretty good. I'm really glad you spent all this time developing them.
I
Well,
love them. Every single
Their
one of
backstories
them.
are really good too. Like honestly, they're.
Hey, guys, remember?
Alright, anyways, we can stop bragging my NPCs. Thank you. Alright. That's the only archer that could have done anything at this turn. The other archers basically are like kind of running in. And now it's the rogue's turn, which I don't think there's any rogues left. Yes, all the orc rogues are dead. So this token can be... He went off for a moment. And now it's Quack's turn, who is going to go ahead and take the disengage action again.
Flee, Quack, flee.
He's gonna run over here. And as he's running over here, more, run. And that's his turn. And now it's the fucking Doma's turn, who's currently getting surrounded. You were in melee with this one, right?
Was I? No.
No. He's new. You're right. You're good. You can move.
Yeah.
Okay. So you flee next to Auric, and you and Auric, bro against bro, back to back. We can take him.
Actually, I give you a bonus now when you're 10 feet near me. To saving throws, you get a +4.
Oh.
All right. Anything else there, Doma, on your turn?
Well, I would flee further. Actually, I will flee further. Go over here.
All right. So you're dashing to get there.
Yeah, I want to give someone some protection.
All right. Doma flees further. All right. And now it is the Orc Warriors who are going to charge in, which this guy's gonna move on in. That one can't. This one can't. Yeah, that's as many as they can move this turn. All right. So he moves in next to Doma and Auric, and he looks between the two of you. They look about the same relative toughness, but he'll swing at Auric. He misses. You're fine. Natural 2. Natural 2. He misses. So you're fine.
He was a little too nervous.
Yeah. Woo! Another axe kind of flaying overhead.
Really worried about that guy too.
Oh boy. Evelyn,
God, are
you're
you
up.
sure we can't just take this massive group? Just kidding. As soon as
I mean,
this
you totally probably could at this rate. These are the.
I mean, I'm pretty sure with Evelyn we have the damage.
Ooh, who's up?
What?
It's currently Evelyn's turn.
God, Evelyn, just fireball the group.
I am fireballing these 3.
Yes.
What point would you like to choose? What point of origin to target?
Can't you hit the fourth guy
It's
too?
20 radius sphere, so like right here-ish, I guess. That's kind of like middle, right?
You want to spawn it here?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Look at all 3.
1, 2, 3. Yep. Only those 3 will get hit. Going to roll for their save throws. That's 1 passes. That's the warrior on the left. The other archer passes, and this guy nat 1. So 2 19s and 1 nat 1.
I am re-rolling a bunch of this.
All right. So this guy is in a world of hurt. These 2 might live.
I like fireball.
I have no idea if he's killed. I'm sorry, Red Pill. I don't
She's
know.
trying to make her first fireball count.
She really is.
Well, what's the damage there? Woo! 3,
Oh.
2 6s and a 5.
18 plus 5.
34.
9. and 11.
Well, this orc is definitely done.
So,
A huge explosion of fire appears there. It's a very familiar sound. There's fire erupts around it.
Wait, it's familiar. She's never done it.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm confusing it with the Monster Mash campaign. My bad. There's a lot of fireballs in that game. All right. This orc here, she
There
takes
really
half.
was.
She looks charred. Her hair is like half of it's burnt off. You see like her scalp is a little bit singe marks there. She's bloodied. This guy here, he just doesn't look very good either. Okay. They're still standing.
38 total with my affinity, elemental affinity, by the way.
Oh, there's extra damage. It's plus 2 more? Yeah, plus 4 more?
4 more, so it's 38 total damage.
Okay, done. So it's added on to them. We're good. Anything else, Evelyn?
So that is it.
Okay. And now it is Oric's turn. Does he have a girlfriend? I think he does. I think he does. Does he live in Seattle? No, I think he lives in Idaho. We can meet up and play D&D. That'd be fun. Are you into fan fiction? I don't really participate in it, but I don't have any problem with people making it. But more in the lines of, for me personally, scripting things.
100 push-ups.
Okay, you start doing 200 push-ups.
Perfect. And then I bust out my light hammer and I smash him in the skull.
Alright, you make a melee attack against the orc next to you.
So you're going to Hell's Angels this guy.
Wait, don't I gave you a javelin, you fool.
He's using the light hammer.
I thought I gave you a new one.
Well, he's using the light hammer. Swing away.
I don't remember you giving me another.
I gave you a new one yesterday. Because it's
Yeah,
what I
javelin.
did.
Okay.
There's mountains, I gave you a new one. I know because I had 4 instead of 6.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, I will use the javelin.
Alright, poke away then, instead of smash away.
He's going to like throw the javelin into the air, catch it, and just like.
17.
That hits.
What a guy.
And it's D8.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
No, it's D6. D6, sorry. D6 plus your strength mod.
Are you sure? No, it's not D6, is it?
Yes, it is. It's a simple weapon.
Yeah,
Your hammer's a D4, and the javelin's D6.
Alright, so it's 6 damage.
He kind of like pushes the javelin aside. You do manage to hurt. You,
I get a plus 2, right? That,
2.
It's 1d6 plus 2?
It's whatever your strength mod is, which is probably plus 2.
Yeah. 2.
Yeah. Alright. Now it's the angel's turn. Where is she? Okay, who of you is hurt? Because I haven't been keeping track.
I've taken 0 damage.
I've taken 0. Even though I
I
wasn't
think
afraid.
Kalak's the one that's hurt.
I've taken.
Oh yeah,
a bit.
Black's fucked.
I've taken about 13 health.
Roderick, you're low. Jesus.
She doesn't know Quack the same level you guys do, so she probably won't be healing him currently. You guys. So, Doma, how hurt are you, Doma?
I'm not.
Okay, and Auric, how hurt are you? Alright, Roderick, you're hurt. She's gonna run over to Roderick, and she's gonna cure wounds Roderick at level 1. Roderick, you heal probably all the damage you've lost. No, I'm sorry, that's right. It's not. It's half. Where is it? 6, 14 plus 3, 17 minus. It's you heal 8 HP.
I think that is healing up to full, isn't it?
It might. I don't know. It would have.
I
It
got
would.
an extra, like 4 from the level up. So I'm at 31 health instead of 27.
I want you to ask Quack how many more are coming.
All right.
Why doesn't want to ask that? Jesus Christ.
I'm currently off in a corner shocking fools that seem to be forgetting about me. So.
Are we gonna break soon? It's been 30.
Yes, within 30 minutes. I mean, basically when this combat ends, or you guys run, whatever you prefer.
Thanks, Danielle.
Okay. Stay in the fight. Then it's technically Haname's turn. No new ones come, but these ones down here are moved. Technically they move 60 feet last turn. They're gonna move 60 feet this turn. They actually enter the combat now. All right. So in this group, where is he? Nope, not him.
Can we decide if we're fleeing or not, guys? Are we running away?
Maybe if you decide you can,
I'm trying
but
to retreat. I'm just gonna lean away and like attacking him as they come into range is kind of the plan.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, I don't know. 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 The fewer that come after us, the
Well,
better.
we don't really know how many are out there, so.
Like, we're trying is the thing. The 3 of us are just covering them 2.
All right, so you see 3 orcs that were running towards you from the south. They kind of enter
3
in.
orcs.
3 orcs from the south. There's 3 that come up, and one of them's got a gnarled staff as he kind of like moves into the area.
We could do an orc 3-way fanfiction.
All right.
Jeez.
Okay, and now it's Haname's turn.
Alright, well...
Yes, break time. I'm going to go catch the
Right
tension of that
here.
story. Oh yeah, that's the story.
Correct.
Don't forget, we got a story to review during break, so don't forget.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
So the 2 of them need to make dex saves.
Which people?
The 2 behind the injured ones.
These ones over here again?
No, these 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These guys aren't in range of each other.
So you're doing call lightning, and what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like, my call lightning is still going on.
No, what spell are you casting is what I'm trying to ask.
It's calling down the lightning.
Yes, you're doing the call lightning with your action. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the archer fails and the guy with the shield fails, so it's full damage. They're probably done, but alright. I mean, yeah, they're pretty fucking hurt. Unless you roll really, really badly. No, and you didn't. Alright, so another like lightning bolt strikes the ground. The nearby brush kind of sparking with some fire for a moment of time. The 2 orcs just against the ground, their body's not moving, still sizzling.
Okay, and then I'm going to... 5, 10, 25... Move... here.
Okay, and now it's Roderick's turn.
I shall use a spectacular spell, Eldritch Blast.
Wow, so original. Alright, roll for your
It's like
attack.
anything else.
God, this is a lot of borrowing power with Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, really. It's 11 and 16.
The 16 just hits, the 11 misses. You can roll for the 16.
Can I get both of them to hit? Oh my
I
god.
mean, maybe if you want better dice,
And
yes.
to get a hit, that's not a 2.
No. Yeah, this orc is... He's just like his head gets cleaned right off his shoulders. It's not like it gets decapitated. Your magic just like eats away at the skull and his body falls to the floor. Now, the area is littered with orc bodies now. You guys have killed like...
Enough.
10, 11 now we're thinking roughly.
We
5,
have
6,
any
7.
idea how many like are left or coming?
No one's taking checks, so I can't tell you. And you haven't asked Quack, so what do you want me to do?
I haven't been within range of Quack.
You asked Quack coming off?
Well, that's why I had to ask
He-
him. I wanted to ask
Alright. So Quack says, as he like kind of looks through the field and he's trying to do math with this stupid 6 intellect bird brain. Many more is what he says to you.
Shit.
So it's now the archer's turn, which, are there any archers? Yes, there is 2. They're going to take shots towards...
I love how you have to look.
Yeah, because I don't remember how many are alive. I mean, they're dying left and right. They're like flies. Fuck, they're so fucking weak. They shouldn't be fighting like 7 level, 5 pluses. Alright, Auric, you're getting 2 arrows notched towards your way. That will hit. It's a 19, and the other one is a 14. Does a 14 hit you?
Nope.
Alright, so 1 hits. It's 8 plus 4, so 12 piercing damage. This is arrow lands into you.
What a pussy.
Alright, and they're gonna spread out. 1, 2.
No way.
1, 2. They're gonna go back in the bush. That one's gonna go in the bush. This one's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, 6. Actually, I don't think they would. No, they might. Okay. And that's the archer's turn. And now there's no rogue, since technically it's Quack's turn, and Quack is just gonna, he'll stop, he'll turn, because there's 2 people behind him, and he's going to take shots at the orc archer. Hit. A hit in the natural 20! Shit!
What the fuck is Quack?
Hey, don't forget, he gets an extra What is
Yes,
it,
he does,
D6?
but he only gets it once per turn, and he would burn it on the first hit that lands, which is not the crit.
Where's his hunter's mark?
So 5 plus the 8, so 13 plus his 4, 17 damage from the first arrow. This orc is hurt already. Yeah, she's dead.
No
Dead. So
hunter's mark?
no, he's not using it. So that before the second arrow even goes off, he fires 2 arrows towards her, but the second arrow would have been a nat crit, and she's already dead. So. And then Quack is then going to spend another 30 feet to run deeper away. Okay. And now it's Doma's turn.
Hey, how's it going? Hello?
Hello.
I think that's my turn.
Okay. Alright, now it's the Orc Warrior, so we're just going to pursue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll dash. 1, 2,
He'll
3,
die
4.
suddenly.
My mouse 3 button is my push to talk on Discord, and it flips tokens over in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Push to talk is F.
Okay, how much movement do these people have?
They're dashing.
They're going like twice the speed.
They're dashing, they're sprinting, they're not going to have no action. Alright, and now it's Evelyn's turn.
Murder.
Alright, let's see. How far away is this staff killing person?
Staff filling guy? Whew, 70 feet, probably.
That would be 75.
I'm going to chromatic orb with fire.
Okay, on the guy in the back?
Staff wielder.
Okay, go ahead.
I swear to God, are we burning all our high level spells again?
Nope.
Okay,
8 plus 7 is.
maybe we learned a lesson.
What do you think I got called?
So 8 plus 7 is a
Yeah.
14? Am I wrong? No, it's a 15. 15. So as your fireball hits and it totally looks like it's gonna hit him, he has like a kind of a sour look on his face, and then he like waves his hand in the air, and you see like a black shield kind of erupt in front of him, and the fire energy kind of washes over it. The shield holds, doesn't hit him.
Well, let's kill that guy and loot his corpse. He's got an item.
Anything else
Sounds
there,
good to me.
Evelyn?
No.
Okay, and now it's technically Oric's
Oh
turn.
no, I will stay to the group. Are we leaving or staying? Like, we need to decide.
I think it's time to make an expeditious retreat.
Do you have that spell
Only one
now?
not in the corner.
It's like he purposely said that because he has that spell, I think. Oric, your turn, man.
Oric.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yep. At which point I will begin to flee. 1, 2. No, sorry. 2, 3. Go ahead. Do your opportunity attack.
Okay, we'll swing at ya. Natural 18, that will hit.
Yep.
Oh no, it's only one hit. Yes. Fuck.
What?
You only take 4 slashing damage.
Oh my God. There's what are your NPCs?
I don't know. They're not very threatening. My bosses are threatening. My NPCs are not.
That's a 10-foot radius. I will, before I finish taking the rest of my movement, I will throw my thunderstone at him.
Okay.
Yeah, your fucking bosses are terrifying. These little NPCs.
Strength saving throw, right?
Let me just double check real quick. That is thunderstone. It's a Constitution save.
Your Thunderstone's a con save for the pushback?
Yep.
Oh, well,
What
it's...
do you know?
I haven't looked at their con in a while. Let me look.
DC is 13.
We're on document. I think it's this one. Where are you, warriors? Where are you? That's not the right document either. Okay. Okay, he gets blasted back 10 feet. It's just like shock, like, like erupts around.
He's not.
Okay, he's prone.
Correct.
He falls on the ground, his weapon kind of scatters to the side. He's like trying to get back up, he's like reaching for it. He's grinding his teeth.
I continue running and I say, run for it!
Okay. Okay. And now it would technically be the angel's turn, who is just going to go ahead and book it too.
I'm kind of...
So she's going to just sprint as far away as she can.
She could heal
Wait.
you a little bit if she wanted to.
She's dashing, because it looks like you guys are full on ready to flee, so there's no point for her to hold out.
Full of friendship flee.
Alright, and then it's technically the biggest threat of them all. He's like just kind of slowly walks forward. He speaks in Orc to the groups around, the people around him. Fishak! And he like points like towards your people. You see a couple more Orc heads kind of popping out of the bushes. I'll just like throw this token here.
Well,
As more guys enter the combat, and he charges a black orb in his hand, and he looks towards... I guess it would be Doma.
Hello?
Alright, Doma. Can you please make a con saving throw?
Oh no. Con save versus.
As a giant beam of energy just flies towards you.
Ouch.
Nope.
I'm hit.
Okay.
And 3/4 of my health gone.
Yep.
Now I have to open my
So
phone.
11, 14, 17.
God, what's my new health again? Ooh, 52.
Take 24 necrotic damage. Sorry, 25 necrotic damage. 25 necrotic damage. As it strikes into your person, you just feel
Christ, he
feel it, you're like...
did half my health.
And that's the end of his turn. You feel crusty, you feel dry, you feel thirsty, and you do feel like your own blood kind of like slowly seeping out of this very dry skin that's been so, like all the moisture been drained out of it that your body literally is unable to keep its fluids in its areas that it's supposed to be in, so you're hurting.
Jesus Christ.
Alright,
Spell is this out of curiosity.
aha, it's an original spell, not a normal D&D spell. As I will do that occasionally for important NPCs. So now it's Haname's turn.
Alright.
Lightning bolt that bitch.
Alright, well I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt down this valley here, because that seems it'll hit him. Will
Okay.
it?
Wait, you can't cause storms under that?
No. He's not like right alongside. It's only a 5-foot radius on the Thunder Strike. Yeah.
Alright, so these two will take saving throws. We'll do him first. Whoops, that's cocked. You're a 15 DC?
Yep.
Okay, he gets hit for the full damage. The other guy passes, so roll damage.
That is 30.
30? Okay, he's going to use his reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke back at you.
Oh, what did he just do?
Hellish Rebuke.
That's my spell move.
Reaction.
That's mine.
That's both of ours. How dare you copy us? We're the originals.
Make a dex saving throw.
Alright.
Please save. Please save.
I'm pretty sure I could have used it on him too. But I always forget I have it.
Nope.
Okay, you take 20 fire damage as this like spark of like almost like orange light, like almost looking like electricity, kind of like bouncing around through the air. You see it kind of flying towards you at an alarming speed, and suddenly it just a wave of fire appears around you, and you try to jump backwards to avoid the flames, but they just swarm over you, and you take 20 fire damage. as the area kind of explodes in flames, and you kind of like pat it off and like throw your arms away to kind of get out of it. How much damage did you get into him?
30.
Oof. Ooh, sorry. So yeah, he gets hurt, but so you see like there's like some partial damage done to him. He looks way more fortuitous than the other guys in the area though.
And then I just straight started booking it.
I feel like he's another female dick.
Okay. At this point,
He was reincarnated.
Roderick would go. This guy's prone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so technically no NPC could dash after you and get in contact with you. You guys could flee and the combat will basically just be range attacks. They chase after you, but you basically should outrun them.
We'd kite them down.
Yeah, well, like, not cutting them down. It would be literally you fleeing. You're dashing away. You're bringing all your actions to constantly run. Unless you want to hold your ground and like back off and keep backpedaling, then we can keep drawing this out. But currently, no melee guy... No melee guy can get into you, and the orc's probably not going to chase that. He's not going to run his full speed at you. So you should basically, like, how many of these guys can even hit you with range? 3 of them? So it's your choice if you'd like to just book it, or if you would like to kind of backpedal.
Yeah, we run.
We
Okay.
have no idea what
Alright, so with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and do 4 archer shots at you guys before you basically clear the next brush and they just can't see you anymore. And the warlock might be able to get a couple spells off, so we'll see. So first of all...
Wait, is he just like just doing it while we're running, and we can't do it?
While you're running, you basically are trying to like dodge and stuff like that, so you still get your saving throws, but he's just going to try to pick off...
You can still use our reactions and stuff.
Yes, as long as he's in range, but he's not running fucking 60 feet after you. He's casually walking after you. He walked slowly in. He's not in any rush to try to kill you, is what it seems like. So, do you want to reconsider there, Roderick?
I'm gonna rush to kill him. He's a dick.
Well,
We did not take the break. So Auric turns around. No! He runs in the fray. Alright, I'm gonna assume you're all gonna run then, because there's no immediate response. Okay, so
There's no reason to
so
stay.
the people that are trailing behind the most are the ones that are most vulnerable. None of you have low movement speed. So with that, we're gonna see Doma, Auric, and Evelyn will each get 1 arrow, and one of you will get the 4th arrow, which it will be. Actually, it's a wild number, so I'll have to roll again. Doma, you get the 2nd arrow.
Oh, joy, I get shot twice.
Alright, so Doma, the first shot would be a natural 16 plus, so that hits you. The 2nd arrow against you, Doma, is a natural 2, so that misses. So you take, while fleeing, 6 piercing damage. Auric, you take, it's only a 15 on the hit. Does that even hit you? The AC
What?
attack? What's your AC, Auric?
Oh, sorry, 16.
Okay, so that misses you. And then Evelyn, this last shot it's a miss. It's a natural 3. So only you took damage from the arrows. The Warlock is going to cast 1 spell and 1 spell alone.
would it be possible for Roderick to spin around and cast 1 spell?
Depends what you're trying to... Well, no, it would slow your movement speed, which means the melee guys would get next to you. You can do it. Dara's going to get... The combat will keep going. It's your choice now.
Don't do it.
The rest of the group is flat out just dashing, so you will get closer, and everyone else will be leaving you behind. What do you want to do, man?
I'll just keep going.
Okay. So he's going to target one of our members here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of you. Let's get a D8. And I'll roll in front of you so you guys don't believe I'm just trying to fucking like assassinate one of you. If I roll an 8, it would be it's a wild. They'll be done again. Aniel's 1, Quack's 2, Roderick's 3, Hanamager 4, Doma's 5, Evelyn 6, Auric 7. Okay, it's wild. Going again. Alright, Aniel gets pegged.
No,
Yes.
what a one-range shot.
And it misses. Oh my god. I mean, yeah. So there's like you hear like a high pitched sound as you kind of like look over your shoulder and you see this giant, what appears to be like I would say a ghost like wraith, just like flying through the air towards Aniel's location. And she turns, her eyes go wide, and she dives to the side. It like rams into a tree, and you see the tree just kind of implode in on itself and collapsed in on itself, splintered in two, falls to pieces to the ground. Aniel's sweat on her face. If that hit her, would have been really bad. Or hit any of you, would have been really bad.
See, the thing was, I was going to try to cast spell magic on that for it.
Dispel magic wouldn't probably have worked anyways. Plus, it's only got a 30-foot range, so...
No, it's 120 feet.
120. Oh, well, never mind. But even then, it can't be used to counterspell a spell. That has to be counterspell itself. So the spell still flies. Dispel magic works on debuffs that your party has, like ailments, or if you're trying to like clear like a magical like ritual or a trap or an illusion. It doesn't work on stuff that's mid-air. All right. So with that in mind, you guys flee. And these orcs theoretically are chasing after you. The orcs that you previously eluded for a while fought at the tree again, and then killed some of them. Most of them dying to one of their own, and now they seem to have caught your scent again. And now you with Quack flee. I guess we're fleeing northwest. So we're gonna go ahead and stop there for now. Let's take our break.